Well, Summer Game Fest is basically here, and tonight is the kickoff event with Geoff Keighley. And this channel is one of the official co-streams of the event, so be sure to subscribe and tune in tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern to watch along and see my reaction to everything. But before we get there, I thought it would be fun to make some predictions. Rumors are swirling, leaks are popping up left and right, and Keighley did his best to temper expectations before his kickoff event. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Now, keep in mind, Keighley indicated that there would be new announcements at the event, right? People are kind of freaking out. They're like, is it just going to be a bunch of stuff that we already know about? He did say there would be exciting new things. He also said the show would focus on existing games or games that have already been announced. We'll get new looks, new trailers, or what have you, but you may already know about the game. Maybe you've seen a teaser trailer. Now, this isn't a big deal. In my book, this is not a big deal, as the biggest event will likely be the Xbox Showcase on Sunday, and then Ubisoft Forward, I think, is going to be good as well. But I also think there are a lot of games that we already know about that will be exciting to hear more from them, to maybe get some release dates. So I'm going to break down my predictions into 3 sections. There's the obvious, there is the likely, and then there's the wild cards, okay? And I've got 5 things for each of these categories, all right? So let's start with the obvious, okay? So the top 5 obvious appearances, I think first and foremost, the obvious appearance would be Death Stranding 2 with Kojima. We know that Kojima and Keighley have a friendship. He's usually at his events and announces something, and I think Death Stranding 2 is the game to show off after the lengthy gameplay debut during the PlayStation State of Play earlier this year. Now, there is certainly the possibility that he will be there to talk about his game OD, which is for the Xbox, but I feel like Kojima may be double dipping. Maybe he will go to the Xbox event and be involved there as well. I'm actually really interested in seeing more from Death Stranding 2. I wish I had time to finish the first, but like most reports are claiming, it's like a 40-hour clear time for that game. And the second and obvious appearance, so that's number 1. I think Death Stranding 2, I think Kojima, is going to be involved at some level, all right? So number 2, the second obvious appearance is the Lego Horizon Adventures game. Everything around this game is heating up to the point that I cannot see this thing not being at the event. First, there were rumors that an announcement was coming soon, and now insiders are claiming that it will be announced at Summer Game Fest. But more than that, it is apparently set for a PS5 and PC release, which means this is either a live service game or it's an experimental game if you look at PlayStation's latest strategy outline. They wouldn't be viewing this as one of their main tentpole games, which is interesting because it's the Horizon brand and it's Lego. There's also the possibility that just partnering with Lego in general, they wanted a larger footprint for the game. I'm not really sure. Marvel has their own stipulations about how they want their games to launch and the number of sales that they would like to get. Now, some people are saying that this is the Horizon MMO. I don't see that. And others are saying, well, it's going to incorporate some type of multiplayer. The name, I think, does sound like a live service game, like Lego Horizon Adventures, especially because it's plural. That's just the impression that I get. I'm not saying there's anything that definitive there, but the impression that I get is, okay, this is some kind of a live service multiplayer game. Now, one leaker is claiming that the game will feature co-op as well as cross-platform support, and the same leaker has said that the game will feature in-app purchases. So I have this in the obvious category because too many reliable leakers are claiming this announcement is happening, and they even have details about the game. Now, this makes me kind of feel bad for Geoff Keighley. It's like sort of his kickoff event, right? And if the most exciting announcements or the bigger things are all getting spoiled, it's going to be kind of a bummer to have those things sort of taken away, kind of having the wind sucked out of the room. Now, hopefully they've got good gameplay to show off, something that can get us excited, maybe a release date. The gaming public probably won't see this coming, but those of us that are very locked in and we follow all these people on Twitter and we pay attention to YouTube, we're always finding out about these things ahead of time now, and it kind of takes the surprise out of it. Now, the third game that I think is an obvious game that'll be there. I think it's one of the obvious ones. This one has also received a lot of leaks in the last 24 hours. Dragon Age Veilguard, which was formerly known as Dragon Age Dreadwolf, will be at the event. Now, they have a big gameplay reveal planned for June 11th, so I'm predicting they'll be at the event. We don't know if they'll be at the event. It seems like the leaks have indicated that. I believe they're going to use Keighley's event to release a teaser or some kind of cinematic trailer, and then that'll kind of promote the gameplay reveal on the 11th. They've already officially announced the gameplay reveal on June 11th, and I think they'll use tonight with Keighley to sort of let everybody know that that's coming. Now, I'm not sure I like either name, by the way. Dreadwolf, Veilguard, a lot of people are weighing in on these names. Maybe pick something that people aren't going to misspell. Like, I was pretty sure that Dreadwolf was going to commonly be spelled Deadwolf, and Veilguard, it's like, is it 2 words? Is it 1 word? Like, just, can we pick simple names for these games? Because anytime you do anything with YouTube and something is commonly misspelled, it's very frustrating because it messes up search funnels and search functions. Like, let's just pick simple names, all right? Consult marketing companies who specialize in SEO, all right? Quit naming your games, 85 words long or words that could be easily misspelled. Now, coming in at number 4 for an obvious game appearance is the Batman VR game that we keep hearing about, okay? Now, I'm picking this one. I actually picked this one before checking this, okay? I had it on my whiteboard. I was ready to go. And then I Googled, and they are actually confirmed to be at the event, okay? They announced, hey, we're going to be there. They're going to be there with a story trailer. They also confirmed in these announcements that the game is coming in late 2024. So I didn't cheat. I had it on my whiteboard. I went to write my my monologue, and I was like, well, let me just go to Google and see what they're doing. And right then and there on the top, they had announced it on Instagram and Facebook and other places that they were going to be at the event with Geoff Keighley. Okay. So number 5. Okay, this is my number 5 obvious appearance before I move into the next category of likely appearances is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Historically, Elden Ring and Bandai, they enjoy doing things with Keighley. They're at his events historically. They end up showing a lot of things. They've used his Game Awards and things like that. The DLC is releasing this month on June 21st, so this was my number 5, pretty obvious appearance from Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, especially since, Geoff indicated a lot of the games that are going to be there are things we already know about, right? And I see somebody in my live chat saying Avowed. I don't know how much Xbox is going to want to show. I'll get to that in a minute. I have some predictions about Xbox games in just a moment and what they're going to do, but given they're having their own big showcase on Sunday, they may not, shower Keighley with a bunch of stuff. So the next category is my top 5 likely appearances. Okay, so I did my top 5 obvious appearances. This is going to be my top 5 likely appearances. And coming in at number 1 is actually 2 games, but I want to treat this as one prediction so I could have each category as a top 5, okay? Assassin's Creed Shadows and or Star Wars Outlaws, okay? I would imagine it will be either one of these or both, and this will primarily be a way for Ubisoft to tease about and promote their Ubisoft Forward event. They did this last year during the Xbox showcase to great effect. They had this Star Wars Outlaws cinematic, and they said, hey, we're going to show you gameplay tomorrow at Ubi Forward. So that's my number 1 likely appearance, is that Ubisoft's going to show up with both of these games or one of these games with Keighley, and it'll be a way to point to Ubi Forward. All right. The number 2 likely appearance is Indiana Jones. I think this name and this property is simply too big to only have it at the Xbox showcase. I think they're going to want to leverage this in a similar way to what I think Ubisoft might do, right? Xbox shows up, has this thing with Keighley, and then they're saying, hey, we're going to show you more tomorrow at the Xbox showcase. They could maybe do another cinematic trailer or something with a story trailer or something like that and promote the showcase. I think people want to see more from Indiana Jones. The game is set to launch this year, so I would think right now they're going to really spin up that marketing machine and get people talking. And that flows right into my number 3 likely appearance. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is very likely to be there, if anything, just because it's Call of Duty, but also to promote the special Call of Duty event that's going to follow the Xbox Showcase on Sunday. Similar to my thoughts with Indiana Jones, this game is simply too big to skip something like Summer Game Fest with a kickoff event. We know it's very expensive to show up and be included and have a commercial. Well, if there's a game they're going to do some market spend on, I would imagine it's going to be Call of Duty. It just makes sense to promote your own event as well. You show up to Keighley's and you say, hey, we're going to have way more to show tomorrow at the Call of Duty Black Ops event that follows the Xbox Showcase. Now, my number 4 on my likely appearances list, I'm saying this with some doubt, even though I want it to be there, is the Plucky Squire. I was going to have a bunch of trailers ready for you guys, but I was running late. I had some things going on this morning, so typically I like to pull up trailers and show them to you. I'm sorry I don't have that, okay? The Plucky Squire is a really, really cool-looking game, and it's from Devolver Digital. Now, Devolver Digital is doing a show after Keighley's event at 8 p.m. Eastern. This game feels like a perfect fit for an appearance at the show, and then they could use it to promote the Devolver event, say, hey, we're going to show more later tonight. The only thing making me doubt my prediction is the prices that we saw just yesterday for appearances or advertisements at the event. I don't know if they charge you money to, like, come on stage and talk, or do they just charge you money to, like, show a commercial. I would imagine they're viewed in a similar way. Folks in the industry were weighing in on this, on the prices of the advertisements, and they were like, yeah, this isn't crazy. This is normal. This is part of why game budgets are not cheap. I've seen people say, well, hey, this money could really go a long way to paying your developers. I just think that that's naive. That's not the way companies like this operate, right? Go to any major company and you can't tell them, hey, if you spent less on marketing, you could hire more people. These budgets and these line items are divided up to essentially keep the company solvent, to keep the company profitable. They do market research, they do research and development, they do targeted marketing, and paying for things like this actually keeps the lights on. It keeps the business going. You have to remain in view of the public. Top of mind marketing. You've got to be out there in front of people. You've got to have your product and your face in front of the public. And that's an expensive thing to do. The problem with this is smaller developers, smaller publishers, they may stay away from these bigger events, which is a bit of a bummer, but it is nice they can be included and have their own events. Devolver Digital's events listed right on the Summer Game Fest website. That's a great way for smaller studios and smaller devs to be included in these things. So there's also great events like the one we watched yesterday. It was just basically a barrage of trailers, but the Guerrilla Collective, and then there's Future Game Show tomorrow that we'll also be covering. I believe that's 3 p.m. Eastern. Listen, those typically include a ton of AA and indie games. So there is a stage for those more middle to small studios and games, maybe just not the main stage events. Maybe don't complain when you watch an event like this, or a state of play, or a showcase, or an awards event, and there's like little indie titles that you think are stupid. Maybe that's kind of a big deal for them, right? We're always quick to poo-poo that, all right? Now, Plucky Squire is set to release on September the 9th of this year, so I imagine it could be 1 or 2 appearances during Summer Game Fest, and, you know, maybe one at Keighley's event. I actually wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Plucky Squire could be at the Xbox event, although it was on the PlayStation blog about games coming this year, so there may be a marketing tie-up with PlayStation, so maybe not. I think the Plucky Squire looks great. I've only ever been worried that it will. I think I just absolutely skipped over a section. Hang on, I didn't mean to say that. It's not gonna have problems running. Sorry, I scrolled down in my monologue. So it would be nice to see the Plucky Squire and other small games included in the events, but likely not. Now, my fifth likely appearance is Warhammer Space Marine 2. This is the game I'm worried about performance, right? This game is set to release on September the 9th, not Plucky Squire. So I imagine this will show up during Summer Game Fest. Warhammer Space Marine 2 could be at the Xbox event. It could be at Keighley's event. It could be at either. I think we're going to see it during Summer Game Fest. I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up to Keighley's event. I think this game looks great. We're hearing good things. I'm primarily worried that, Warhammer Space Marine 2 may not run that well. Its performance is the only thing I'm worried about, because the game looks crazy. It looks crazy. It looks like one of those games where maybe they got a little too ambitious with the graphics and the number of enemies and the AI and all of that, okay? So that's my top 5 obvious game appearances, my top 5 likely appearances. Let's get to the wild cards. this is when it can get fun, okay? Because I might be totally wrong, but this is when it can get a little fun. Let's pick the things that might not be there, but oh my gosh, if they show up, that'd be awesome, right? This is a mixture of things that I would love to see happen, but maybe aren't likely. There's no real hints, okay? My number one wild card appearance, Borderlands 4. Now, this is already on my list. It was already on my whiteboard. I did a quick Google search. There are sources saying that an announcement for Borderlands 4 is imminent. That's not why I picked this. I saw that after the fact. That just kind of reinforces my belief that, like, hey, this could be a wild card during Summer Game Fest. It could show up at some point in time. Keighley's kickoff event could be when that happens. Also, I don't know what their timeline would look like for this game, but at the very least, they're probably going to try to sync up with the marketing of the movie. And just yesterday, the Borderlands Twitter account was putting out a bunch of character posters. So to me, they're getting ready to start talking Borderlands. It might be a great time to say, hey, Borderlands 4 teaser, we're making the game, you know, and then have like a release window, 2025 or something like that. I don't know. If it's beyond 2025, I'll be a little frustrated, but I want Gearbox to take their time with it, so it'll be mixed emotions if we actually hear about it, but it's not coming anytime soon, right? Now, the next two appearances are not games. They're not games, but I think this would be really cool if this happened. I'd love to see it, all right? My number two wild card is Hermen Hulst. He was just named co-CEO of PlayStation. I thought it was very weird for that to happen and then him to not be included in the State of Play. It's possible that he was busy with all those earnings calls and having to do all those reports when they were getting ready to film and put together the State of Play. I thought he did a really great job earlier this year at the State of Play where he was there with Kojima. I think he has better presence than Jim Ryan, and I think the thing that he did with Kojima was a real show of strength for the brand. Kojima's an icon in the industry, and that kind of a partnership I think looks very good, especially when you saw Kojima doing things with Xbox. It was good to see PlayStation answer back and say, hey, we're still working with this guy. We still have a great relationship with him, right? So I would love to see Hermen Hulst there. He could announce something, maybe something that they saved. We have heard that PlayStation will be making announcements during Summer Game Fest, okay? He could be there to confirm the showcase coming later this year. We have very reliable sources saying there is a showcase in September, so Hermen Hulst could be there, show something off, or just talk about, hey, we can't wait to talk to you later this year at the showcase. I still think PlayStation should have confirmed that there's a showcase coming during the State of Play, because people were probably like, hey, where's the showcase? You did one last year in May. Everybody's doing their thing now. It's Summer Game Fest season. Xbox is doing a showcase. Why aren't you doing a showcase? Okay, that's my number two wild card. My number three wild card is another appearance, Phil Spencer. I think it's time for Phil to come out of the shadows, okay? You tie him to a big or exciting announcement. You have him promote the Xbox Showcase. It's happening the following day. It would really be good to see the platform heads like Phil Spencer and now Hermen Hulst. It would be good to see these platform heads at Keighley's event, okay? I think Phil Spencer went dark because they kind of knew stuff was going bad, right? Or maybe not bad, but the public's opinion wasn't going to be so great. The Xbox news hasn't been all that favorable. They're like shutting down studios that made award-winning games like Hi-Fi Rush, upsetting people. You're making Sarah Bond field questions about it on a Bloomberg thing. Like, all right, Phil, it's time to come out and start talking. And it could really soften the blow to have it be at Keighley's event. Like, you kind of come out, he's at this exciting thing, and then you're like, hey, there's a showcase tomorrow. And then Phil could be a part of the showcase as well. So I would love to see both Hermen Hulst and Phil Spencer at events like this. I think it'd be good for Keighley. Really start to back Keighley's event. I think Keighley's event is good. People have been very, very critical of him, which I think is very unwarranted. I think there's a lot of just emotional immaturity in the gaming industry, and I think people really take out their frustrations on somebody who is not doing anything to anybody other than creating these awesome events for us to all watch and bring people to. Keighley was criticized last year for not having enough women on stage, which it's interesting. That's not his choice. These game companies send people to these events, and typically it's whoever they have on staff staff to handle these types of interviews and these types of presentations. You're not in control of it. I did main stage interviews at Twitch for Twitch at E3 in 2019, and I couldn't control who I interviewed. It's just who showed up from every company. And Keighley's doing an all-women event thing this year as like a response to like, okay, hey, you know, fair is fair. There was a good representation. So I feel like he's been very good to listen to feedback and make changes. And I think it would be really good as a show of force to see people like Phil Spencer or Herman Holst show up to an event like this and, you know, really sort of back what Keighley's trying to do with both Summer Game Fest as well as the Game Awards. All right. Now, I'm going to take this risk with my number 4 wild card. I know this is a risk. I know I'm basically putting on clown makeup like everybody else that hopes to see this and claims that it's going to be there. But I'm going to say it. I hope I don't jinx it. Hollow Knight Silksong, all right? Now, I'm going to protect myself a little bit here. I actually think there's also a very high probability that we see Hollow Knight Silksong at the Xbox Showcase, okay? I forgot to include that in my Xbox Showcase video and live stream that I did. That game showed up in the Xbox store recently. There's rumblings from leakers that seem to indicate something is coming with this game. It was included in the Xbox Showcase in 2022, 2 years ago, so I think it may be time to start marketing it, and they may already have a marketing contract in place with Xbox. So I'm kind of cheating, right? I'm using my wild card for Keighley's event to say that I think Hollow Knight Silksong is going to show up during Summer Game Fest week. It's more likely to show up at Xbox. Maybe they drop a hint or something for Keighley, but I do think we're going to finally see Hollow Knight Silksong. I think we're getting a release date. I think it's probably fourth quarter this year. That's my prediction. I hope I don't jinx it. All you Hollow Knight guys, I'm so sorry about all the times you've been debated with Nintendo's indie event. They always, they kept putting it on the on the focus art. Anyway, my fifth and my final wild card prediction: Spider-Man 2 DLC. They let Geoff Keighley have the Spider-Man 2 release date last year. They did not announce the release date during their own showcase, so I could see them doing that again. I really can't see Spider-Man 2 DLC not showing up this year with a release. Like, I think it's releasing this year. I don't know why you would wait longer than a year. Even if they're maybe saving it. They could be saving it for the PlayStation Showcase. Maybe there's some PS5 Pro enhancements. Maybe they're going to kind of treat this like how Burning Shores for Horizon Forbidden West was not available on the PlayStation 4. Maybe Spider-Man 2's DLC is going to have extra cool features for people who buy a PS5 Pro. Like, it'll be playable on both, but maybe they're saving it. But I still think wild card would be, you know, that there's a Spider-Man 2 announcement for DLC. Somebody in chat is asking me why I hate Sean Murray. I don't hate Sean Murray. I love Sean Murray. I love Hello Games. I defended Sean Murray for years. I've defended Hello Games for years. The way they've been treated for No Man's Sky has been terrible. Yes, I'm going to do a buzzer beater right now, off the cuff, non-scripted. Another wild card is that Sean Murray is there to do another trailer, maybe release date for Light No Fire. I hope you're happy. You got to maybe change my monologue here. Credit to Lancelot in chat for making me do that. So there it is. My top 5 obvious games, my top 5 likely games, my top 5 wild cards with an extra one thrown in thanks to someone from chat. But those are just my thoughts. Now it's time to hear your thoughts. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Already 154 likes on the video. Push that like count to 200. Let's have a big day. I'm really excited. We're basically going to be streaming all day today if you're a member, because I'll take a break at some point. We'll hang out with members. I'll make my thumbnail and get everything ready. We're going to go live probably around 4:30 p.m. Eastern in order to cover this event with Geoff Keighley, and I have a bunch of people to thank. You guys were gifting members and doing all kinds of stuff during that show open. I believe in Stonespire. Han shot first, and so did you, and then Joker Quinn, and then Rissick, and then Stonespire, and then Stonespire, and then Sorcerer, and then P-Dub H-Town with 7 members to start the day. You guys are absolutely incredible. You've already achieved the goal for the week. I have to play Lies of P tonight for the members. Now, Devolver Digital goes live at 8, and that's typically when we go live for the member stream. So I'll tell you what I'll do, all right? I'll watch Devolver Digital with the members. I don't see a reason to go live just for the Devolver Digital showcase to the public. that's typically not how we roll. We typically cover the bigger events. No shade to Devolver. I love Devolver. But we typically do Summer Game Fest Kickoff, Future Game Show, Xbox, PC Game Show, and Ubisoft. Those are typically the ones that we cover. I'll cover and watch Devolver with the members tonight. So that's a great reason to become a member. That's a great reason to gift members. And then we got to come up with a stretch goal. What should I do when I play Lies of P tonight? I mean, a blindfold? I don't know. I don't know. What should I do? You guys are making me go back into Lies of P. Typically for member incentives on Friday nights, we do like a rage game, a scary game, and then a cute game for Creature. And then there's obviously community game nights as well. What do I think about the upcoming Helldivers 2 War Bond? I haven't really had a chance to look at it. I do like that they're gonna slow down. Yo, Mike on a mic with 27 months in a VIP. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my man. Thank you so much for doing that. And WGC gifts a member as well and takes us to 8 members on the day. Let me give you guys a count for the week. Let's see where we are here. 126, 151, 52, 329. Yeah, you guys need 70 members today for the stretch goal. Which is easy. That's lightweight work for you guys. D Dizzle renews the membership, 33 months and a member plus. Appreciate you, brother. And WGC gifts another one, takes us to 9. And Mike on the Mind gifts one and takes us to 10. And then another one comes from WGC and takes us to 11 members on the day. Is there anything I missed? Right? Non-inverted controls? No. 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 Listen, if you want me to play on non-inverted controls, we got to have a much bigger goal than 70 members. No. I think we need more than that. That's too much. That's too much to ask. I can't. Astrobot 70 here. Well, I mean, that's prices are going to be different everywhere. You know, Reckless Gamble with 25 months says, you almost missed Light No Fire. I almost missed Light No Fire. I can't believe I didn't think of Sean Murray. Well, I limited myself to 5. I limited myself to 5 per category. My wife says even Rod Serling dealt with this. Lamenting the fact that the prominent novelist cannot disagree without name-calling and accusations. That's amazing. Rod Serling, creator of Twilight Zone. My wife's reading a biography about him. Yo, 5 from Joker Quinn. Moving the goalposts? No. We're not moving the goalposts. If you want me to agree to a stretch goal of non-inverted controls, it's got to cost more than 70. That's too easy. That's too easy for you guys to do. That's going to be ridiculous. That'll break my brain. 60 for Astrobot is fair. Yeah, Astrobot is 60 and not Helldivers, and Concord is going to be 40. Sean is a benevolent one, and you are forgiven. Hail, Sean. I know Sean Murray would forgive me. He would. Yeah. He tweeted. I see that. Well, no, Lone Wolf says, you better not get my hopes up for that Borderlands 4 is going to be there. Don't play with my emotions, brother. And a 10 bomb comes in from Hotshot. And Hotshot says, name the number and we'll hit it. Good night. Agents of Chaos pushes us past a 25 on our way to 50. Good night. Good night. 150. I think 200 on the day. If you want me to play on non-inverted, that'll absolutely mess me up for like a weekend. If I use my wife's controller for too long, it messes me up because she plays non-inverted. You need this needs to hit 200. I'm not doing non-inverted in Lies of P unless you guys really bring the heat. That's a really big ask of me. I cannot stand doing that. It literally breaks my brain. Lancelot, the one who reminded me about Sean Murray and Light No Fire, re-ups to a VIP. Welcome back, Lancelot. We don't want to ruin the game for Lono. Yeah, I mean, I'll play terribly. We want him to enjoy it so that he'll pick it back up. Yo, Elemental Hero says, I don't think that they'll show AC and Star Wars at Game Fest. Usually we see new games. Plus, they would need to do Anytime Clancy games or older IPs. Elemental Hero, Geoff Keighley literally said that they have some new announcements, but it's mostly going to focus on games that are already out or have already been announced. So, no. I don't think you're correct. This has been one of the themes of Summer Game Fest, is that when Keighley does his kickoff event, it's like half new, half pre-existing. Stonespire gifts a member and takes us to 27. All right, get ready. If there it is. Stonespire does another one. Guys, somebody get ready. If you're going to do a 20 bomb, Stonespire's setting it up. He's going to take this to 30. Bring the heat. We're going to have 30 out of 50 any second now. Dave, you think we get a Light No Fire release date announcement? I could see that. There it is. That's number 29. That's number 29. We'll see if somebody's going to tag team with my man Stonespire and drop that 20 bomb. This guy is so faithful and he's so just there to do that. Up is up and down is down. And there it is. Another one taking us to 30 out of 50. And Stonespire says the ball is in your court. We'll see if any of the big boys want to dunk that home. I don't know if they're in chat just yet, Stonespire. We'll see if you can wake them up. Yeah, I'm surprised I forgot about Sean Murray, Light No Fire, and Hello Games. And Alex does a 5-bomb and bumps it to 35. Thank you so much, Alex, for doing it and pushing us a little bit closer. People who play non-inverted controls probably also put their cereal milk first. Try up is up and down is down on an airplane and see how long you fly. I want you to imagine that there was a joystick in the back of my head. What would you do to that joystick to get me to look up? What would you do? You would pull down. How would you make me look down? You would push up. It just makes sense. I'm directing the head. Now don't think about it too long, because if you want me to look right and left, that would be opposite too. But just and another gifted from RPG. Listen, the first game I ever played on PC was inverted, and after that, everything I always a GoldenEye was inverted out of the box. So, sorry. Pause. That's a pause. People who play inverted are socially engineered. That's right. Oh my gosh. Playing inverted for flying games, play non-inverted for walking. Don't forget the one Z Suite for tonight. The onesie. Yeah, I owe you guys the onesie. I gotta find that. I think I know where it is. Do you mind me recapping your top 5 for sure there? Yeah, no problem, Detective Seeds. Good to see you. Lone Wolf with 20 months in a VIP. 20 months, 4 more months, and the red badge is mine. Also, Borderlands 4 is there. I will instantly be my game of the week. I don't give up if who else shows up here or at Xbox Showcase. Thank you so much, Lone Wolf. Everyone else learn to move on, Lono. Let it go. All right. So here's my top 5 for sure obvious appearances, okay? Death Stranding 2, Lego Horizon Adventures, Dragon Age Veilguard, the Batman VR game, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. To me, those are guaranteed to be there. Those are like easy picks, all right? Now, my middle category is likely appearances. These are not obvious. I think these are likely, okay? My top 5 likely was... I kind of did this as a group. AC Shadows or Star Wars Outlaws. I think they're going to do like here's a new trailer, here's a new this. Be sure to see UB Forward on Monday for more. Now, they might do that with Xbox again. They did that last year. They did a cinematic trailer for Star Wars Outlaws at the Xbox Showcase, and they said, hey, tune in tomorrow to UB Forward. So they may do that again with Xbox. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, Indiana Jones. It's just too big to not have it show up multiple times, and then they could use it to promote the Xbox Showcase. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Just makes sense. It's Call of Duty, right? Big game. Why would you not? Big game. I said, what a big game. Sorry. Plucky Squire, and then Space Marine 2. Those are my likely appearances. And then I had my 5 wild cards, which we added a 6th wild card. Like for Elden Ring, I just want KOTOR to pop up. It won't, yeah. You know it won't. That's right. It won't. It won't be there. I think Outlaws is not guaranteed because it's releasing in the fall. It's releasing in the fall, and then so is AC Shadows. Wait, isn't Outlaws like August or something? When does that even come out? Star Wars Outlaws release date. Is it? Oh, I'm not plugged into the internet. Dang it! I'll have to go up here. Star Wars Outlaws release. Yeah, August 30th. August 30th, and then AC Shadows is like what? November like 15th or something? 12th. Yeah. They're both coming out very soon. Star Wars especially. Star Wars is like what? Like 2 months away? BioShock? I saw a lot of people throwing out BioShock, and I just don't know. I think games like that are extremely hard to predict. Games like that are really hard to predict if they're going to show up or not. Yeah, I mentioned that one in I mentioned Space Marine 2 in my likelies. Yeah. E3 2015. Oh, Sean Murray playing the game. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna show somebody playing Light No Fire. I mean, that would be really cool. I think we might have to lower our expectations. I mean, I don't think I outlined anything that's that crazy. Death Stranding 2, Lego Horizon, Dragon Age Veilguard. Dragon Age Veilguard will likely just be a cinematic trailer to promote their gameplay thing that they're doing on the 11th. The Batman VR game, Elden Ring DLC, Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws we already know about. Indiana Jones we already know about. Black Ops 6 we already know about. Plucky Squire we already know about. Space Marine 2 we already know about. None of my predictions are that crazy. I'll give you my top 5 wild cards. Borderlands 4. I threw in Silk Song. I actually think Silk Song is going to be at the Xbox event, not Keighley's event, but I threw it in anyway just as like a generic Summer Game Fest wild card. Like, it's going to happen during Summer Game Fest, like the week of Summer Game Fest. And then Spider-Man 2 DLC. Those are like my 3 wild card games. And then my 4 and my 5 and my 6th wild card appearances, Herman Hulst, Phil Spencer, and Sean Murray. I think I'd be great for Herman Hulst to be there. I think it would be great for Phil Spencer to finally poke his head out. A 5 spot from Alex, a $5 super chat tip. He says, isn't Avowed this year as well? Yeah, but I don't know. My gut is they save Avowed just for the Xbox showcase. The reason that I think you would use Indiana Jones as well as Call of Duty with Keighley and then also at your showcase is because they're just so big and recognizable. Avowed doesn't have the pull that like Indiana Jones does as a brand. Like, think about the general public. Indiana Jones, oh my gosh. Like, and then Black Ops 6 is like, oh my gosh. So yes, Avowed is coming in. That we don't know the date. They just said fall of 2024. And that was during the Xbox Developer Direct. What about Blade? Too early for Blade. They did their teaser trailer at the Game Awards. That game is a long ways away. Captain America, Black Panther, Metal Gear, they were announced from last year, this year. Metal Gear, I'll give you a maybe because I think that's coming out next year now from what we have heard. The Captain America and the Black Panther games are also very early. They did that Unreal trailer that looked phenomenal. They had the guy that plays King Ezekiel from The Walking Dead as Black Panther. Oh, it looks so good. So yeah, maybe. It's way too early for Blade. I don't think you're gonna hear anything from Blade. Yeah. Because they just did that announcement at the Game Awards and it was purely cinematic, and they made it pretty clear that game is still that game's far away from now. They were just announcing it. John Always with the 2 spot. I'd love to see more of Kingmakers. Yeah, Kingmakers looks pretty cool, but appearances are expensive, so I don't know if that's a very big studio with a very big budget. Lancelot says Q3, Q4 not set in stone. Oh yeah, Avowed. Well, for Avowed they just said fall of 2024. Halo Remaster at the show. Oh, man. Listen, I retweeted Tom Henderson and I said, this just feels like damage control. It's like Microsoft is saying, excuse me, Microsoft is saying this is going to happen. And Xbox is doing everything they can to keep the lid on it. It's like, it's so, to me, it's just so obvious. This is all happening, and Xbox is doing everything they can to keep the public as calm as possible. It's like every time these leaks have happened, every time something like this has been intimated, all of the Xbox contacts and all of the Xbox press outlets are like, everybody calm down, everybody calm down. It's like, you were really, really ready for this. You really were ready for this to hit the... I don't know. It just, every time I'm like, okay, yeah. It's like, look at the pattern. Look at the pattern. In November last year, the CFO says, we're going to start putting our games on competitors' platforms. And the next day, wasn't it like the next day? As soon as that story breaks, within 24 to 48 hours, Phil Spencer does an interview with Windows Central and says, we have no plans to put Game Pass on PlayStation or Nintendo. And it's like, he did not even remotely respond to what the real story was. And what did everybody do? What did everybody do? Oh, all's well. All is well, everybody. Phil didn't answer the question, but we're going to act like he did. Like, what? Like, actual reporting, actual, like, investigative work would have been to be like, can you speak to first-party games? Since that's primarily what everybody fixated on. Doesn't answer the question. Right? And then look at what happened at the beginning of this year. The rumors start swirling, and what happens? Same outlets are like, nope, nope. Oh, it's yes. Oh, it's just these four. And it's the same pattern, right? Tom Warren does an interview with Phil Spencer, and he's like, basically Phil says, nothing's off the table. What do we get as a reaction? Well, all of my contacts say there's no active development. There's not currently any active development on these projects. That is such a canned answer. That's such a non-answer. They didn't tell you we're not doing it. They said, well, there's no active development. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's such a non-answer. It's like, hey, are you going to start putting games on other platforms? We have no plans to put Game Pass on other platforms. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, you don't need to see his identification. He just waves his Jedi Phil Spencer hand, and everyone's like, yep, everything's fine. And then we hear the, like, Halo's being considered for PlayStation. Halo. We're talking about Halo. And what do we get? Well, it's being considered, and all these other games that we've heard about, there's no active development as of June of this year. And it's like, oh my gosh. It just literally feels like damage control. It's like Microsoft wants to do this, and Xbox is like, keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. Everybody chill. Everybody chill. It's like, dude, come on. Just shoot straight with people. Just shoot straight with people. A 5-spot from Therapy Quantified says, that would be better than announcing it at the Xbox showcase. Announcing Halo coming to PlayStation would be a terrible idea at their showcase. Homie, I don't know where you announce it to not make it be like, oh, so everything's going then. Right? Everything. You think Starfield's safe if they're considering Halo? Well, they're just considering. Now, I saw a guy make a good point. He's like, well, they were considering not putting Black Ops on Game Pass. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. And they are putting Black Ops 6 on Game Pass. Okay, that's fair pushback. But don't you think it's a little bit different? You don't think it's a little bit different to consider, like, your primary tentpole title, your most iconic title, is being considered for PlayStation? You're going back that far, too? Combat Evolved? Really? Come on. Like, again. Yeah, and then I see people confidently saying, dude, screenshot everything. Confidently saying, Elder Scrolls 6 will not be on PlayStation. Why are you saying that? You have no reason to be that confident right now. None. Absolutely none. We have no idea how far-reaching this strategy will become. We have no idea. I'm not saying that it will. I'm not like, oh no, Elder Scrolls will definitely be on PlayStation. But it's like, to definitively say it will not, it's like they allegedly, according to Tom Warren, they allegedly were just recently like, if we're going to do this, You think maybe we should put it on PS5? And you're like confident they're not going to do that with The Elder Scrolls? You think The Elder Scrolls is like more important to lock down to your dying platform with hardware? You think that's important? Why? Why? I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, all right. It's the same thing every time. It's like, I'm telling you, my read of this is that Microsoft's pushing for it. Xbox is either fighting against it, or at the very least, Xbox is like trying to keep a lid on it. You know, it's like this rumbling thing. They're like, keep the lid on it. No, don't let anybody know this is going to happen. We can't. And it's going to come out, and it's like, well, nothing is safe now if that game's going. Nothing is safe. That would be like The Legend of Zelda, or actually no, far worse. It'd be like Super Mario. What was the latest Mario game? Like Super Mario Brothers Wonder or Super Mario Brothers Odyssey suddenly being on PlayStation or something. That'd be crazy. You'd be like, what? Rare Game is planning something. Oh, I would love to figure out or see or get some kind of an update on Everwild. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it, but that'd be awesome because I think Everwild lost its creative director and has gone, allegedly, has gone through a reset or a reboot or something. That's really going around for the Xbox titles. It allegedly happened with Perfect Dark. It allegedly happened with, what was the other? There was a couple other titles that it happened with. It allegedly happened with, I had these in my mind. It was Perfect Dark, Everwild. I think the Fable team reset something. I thought there was a report that they started over with something. I don't even know. It just seems to be going around. It's like every time we look over there, creative directors are walking and projects are being rebooted. It's like, right? Where does it leave the new handheld? I mean, I saw the same person confidently declaring that The Elder Scrolls would never be on PlayStation, declaring that it would be an exclusive to Xbox next generation hardware. And I'm like, what? It's like, have you even been listening to the people that have sources at Xbox about what the next piece of hardware is going to be? And you think they're concerned with having a next-gen piece of hardware and making something exclusive to it? You honestly think they're going to do that? By the time The Elder Scrolls gets here, that's like 4 or 5 years from now. If you think in 4 or 5 years Xbox is going to give a single rip about having exclusives, you are just not paying attention. You couldn't read, I'm not even asking you to read tea leaves. You couldn't read a stop sign if you think that if that's your read of the market, that in 5 or 6 years, Xbox is going to be like, oh no, this is an exclusive. Like, what? They have completely and loudly made it clear that is not their plan for the future. It's just not a part of their plan anymore. Here's the other thing that I find confusing. I thought exclusives were bad, the industry was changing, and everybody else was going to have to do this. But in 5 or 6 years, Xbox is going to do it again with one of their biggest pieces of property. They're just going, oh yeah, no, we're doing an exclusive. You know, we spent the first 6 months of 2024 acting like exclusives were bad, and that they were going away, and that the industry was changing. But in half a decade, yeah, we're going to do it again. Like, no, they're signaling, when Phil said that, they are signaling that's where they're headed. They're not going to be treating their property like that. If Xbox does a next gen 2 years before the PlayStation 6, they may try exclusives again for a minute. Yeah, maybe, but that would be... Oh, so you're thinking if they did that 2026 release that people were anticipating. Yeah, I don't know. The rumor that the next Doom game is coming day and date to PS5, I wouldn't be shocked if Elder Scrolls does the same thing. Well, the beauty of that is everybody says, oh no, it makes sense for Doom to be multi-plat. No, yeah, Doom was always going to be multi-plat, which is a lie. Anybody saying that needs to go back and read the articles that their own outlet published that indicated in 2021, Phil Spencer told ZeniMax everything going forward is an exclusive. That would have included Doom. The plan changed. And that plan was defended, by the way. During the entire FTC hearing and during the entire CMA hearings, all I had to hear from people on that side was Microsoft and Xbox have every right to make ZeniMax property exclusive. Buy an Xbox. There are tweets out here defending the decision. There are people saying, well, why else would you spend this money and not make these games exclusive? But now exclusives are bad and Doom was always going to be a multiplat. Got it. Okay, sure. Like, the lack of consistency is just bewildering to me. Hold a position, or just say you were wrong. It's easier to say you were wrong. It's just be like, yeah, I was wrong. I can't see it. I can't see a future where the Elder Scrolls is locked down to one platform. I can't see it. Like their hardware saturation is terrible. They're slowly falling. They're basically falling behind the previous gen where they already did terribly. They are not going to try to leverage Elder Scrolls to move hardware when it comes out. There's just no way. The tweet about Skyrim was from June of 2023. I thought I saw a new tweet claiming that. His tweet was old, or are people saying that he's not being consistent? I thought it was a new tweet. I thought there was this new claim of like, it's 100% going to be exclusive. And it's like, what? Why would you think that? Why would you think that there's going to be, I mean, I read it early this morning, so maybe I didn't look at the timestamp. I thought that was this year. If it was last year, then I think what people were probably just trying to show is, how the turntables. Now you're like, oh, I expected everything to be I expected these games to be multi-plat. The next Doom will be a good indication of whether or not future Bethesda games will release on PlayStation. Right, and that was the case I tried to make, right? Like tonight at Summer Game Fest with Keighley, I don't think Xbox shows up and does very much. They might do a couple of things and promote their showcase. We have it on very good authority that during their showcase, Doom will be there and announced as a multiplat. And I said, that's a pretty big deal. That's not what the plan was. Just 3 years ago, that's not what the plan was. The plan was to make all ZeniMax property exclusive. What he said about ZeniMax was case-by-case basis. Yeah, he said that to the European regulators, and then once the acquisition went through, he had a meeting with ZeniMax, and he said, everything's exclusive. You got to get the timeline right. They told the European regulators case by case. You're correct. They did. And then once the ink was dry, Phil Spencer goes to ZeniMax and says, everything's going exclusive. To the point that when Matt Booty relayed this information to Tim Stewart, the CFO said, wow. It was like, wow, that's a sweeping decision. That doesn't, and my issue with it at the time was, I said, that's not case by case. You just made everything exclusive. That's the antithesis of case by case. And you know what I was told at the time? I was told they can do whatever they want. It's their property. They can make it exclusive. Okay? Oh, but now I'm being told Doom was always going to be a multiplat. Javier with 18 months says, thanks, Lono, for the great content. Thank you so much, Javier Cotto. Microsoft will not make any existing ZeniMax games exclusive to Xbox. If that's how you're going to read it, Paul, then you're forgetting that once they got it, Phil Spencer also talked about making the Elder Scrolls exclusive. So which is it? You got to choose a narrative. When they talked about existing games, they were talking about going to an existing game and removing it. And it's like, well, we're not going to do that. Yeah, well, you probably couldn't because of contractual obligations. You'd probably get sued for doing that. Secondly, they were not talking about like, oh, if it's Elder Scrolls or if it's Doom, it'll say multiplat. Do you want to know how I know this? Go read the CFO's response to when Phil Spencer told ZeniMax everything's going to be exclusive. Go read his response. See what he said. It was a change. It was like, wait, what? Were you a fly on the wall? No, we have official documents and reports from the FTC hearings, the CMA hearings, all the discovery. We have all of it. It's all documented. Nothing I'm saying is like conjecture or hearsay. It's actual public record according to legal, verifiable documentation that all of this stuff took place. He said case by case in an interview after the merger. Howard was sitting right next to him. So, privately, They said everything's exclusive. You're completely missing the point. You can clutch to that interview all you want. Phil Spencer had a meeting with ZeniMax and said everything's exclusive. We learned this during the FTC trial. What's the date on that interview, by the way? Your absolute disdain for Microsoft is palpable. Why wouldn't you have a disdain for Microsoft? They're a terrible company. Why do you like them? I don't like Google or Amazon either. These big giant companies. Why would you like them? Are they your friend? The documents were produced as part of discovery. They were not meant for the public. Well, I mean, that's a matter of public record is what I'm saying. Like, we get to see it. There it is in black and white. This man sat down with ZeniMax and said everything's exclusive. Xbox fans were high off the rooftops boasting that Call of Duty and ZeniMax titles would be exclusive, and now that isn't the case, so the narrative's flipped. I don't know why you would like them. Sony or Scum 2, they ruined Prince and Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't care. Why do I? Maybe. I don't know. That's... I don't like Sony. I like what I get from PlayStation, and I like how they treat their studios and their property. Why? Because it benefits me. That's all self-interest. That's what you're supposed to do as a consumer. Pete Hines' email from FTC was pretty telling. Yeah, do you remember Pete Hines' email? Remember when Pete Hines sent the email and he said, we were told that all of our stuff was going to be exclusive? You don't remember that? You guys don't remember that? Like, to me, it's like looking at history and being like, well, sure, that happened, but we're going to ignore that, and we're just going to go back to this one thing. And it's like, no, history is a series of events, and they go in order. And it's like, yes, they said case-by-case basis, and then they privately said everything's exclusive, and then Pete Hines expressed frustration with the fact that they were told all their games would be exclusive. And now that's not the case. Just admit the truth. It's liberating. Why clutch to falsehood? It's like... Isn't it tiresome? Like, don't you get tired of doing that? Just admit it. They changed the plans. Just admit that happened. That's so freeing and so easy to say, you know what, Lono? You're right. If you look at the course of events and everything that we have learned, they have changed their plans. Why is that so hard to do? There's nothing difficult about that. It's not scandalous. You're not admitting to some wrongdoing that you did. There's no shame involved. It's not embarrassing. It's just, this is what they were planning on doing, and something has changed. Microsoft stepped in the room and has changed the plans. It's just easy to see. It's easy to admit. It's objectively true that the plan has obviously changed. They went from... we're buying these games, we're going to make them exclusive, to, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. A 2-spot from Sneaky Wolf says, just pull up the facts, shut him up. Thank you for the 2-spot. And then Sneaky Wolf with a gifted member bumps the line to 37. Thank you guys so much. You guys were in here worrying about a stretch goal to make me play non-inverted. You guys got a little ways to go. You guys got a little ways to go still. I look back at the Pete Hines apology. At the time, I felt like it was just lip service. But after that corporate correspondence released, you can tell he was really upset about it. Yeah, he was like, it wasn't my call. It wasn't my call. Everything Jim Ryan was concerned about with this merger is happening. Talent left, studios closed, quality of games has gone down, but everyone said he was lying and crying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll notice the people that always called him, Jim Ryan... lying, crying, and they put him crying on their thumbnails. They're the same people now that are like shell-shocked. They're like, what's happening? I don't know. Put Jim Ryan on your thumbnail a couple more times and see if it doesn't fix it. Like, I kept telling you guys last year, I said, the frustrating thing about all of that was like, let's just project all this emotion onto corporations and C-suite employees that are quite literally just doing their jobs. Like, it was so irritating. Well, the same outlets and pundits and people that ran with that nonsense, they're the ones now that are like, surprise Pikachu face. Like, huh? What's happening? It's like the soul of Xbox is gone. Yep. What did you think was going to happen? Like, I mean this. I think people thought Microsoft's going to write a $70 billion check and they're going to shore up all this property on a fledgling platform. Like, I think people honestly thought that was going to happen. They honestly think that, like, a picture at Costco means that the Xbox is selling out and the PlayStation isn't. Like, that's the level of thinking that you're dealing with. So they honestly thought, nope, Xbox is winning. They're going to make all these games exclusive. And when we would push back on that and say, there's not enough of them, there's not enough of you, there's not enough customers to justify doing that from a business perspective, we were called haters and ponies. And it's like, okay, how's that working out for you? It's so clear that the strategy in the plan has changed. Yo, Stone Spire's going to bump this to 40 with 3 individual gifteds, and he's hoping somebody slams it home with a 10 bomb. Thank you so much, Stone Spire. The real reason they made Herman co-CEO is it's hard to make rhyming crying with the nickname Holst. They're like, Herman, we really discovered that your name is extremely difficult to rhyme with, so we think you're a great fit for the public-facing CEO of PlayStation. Hope Arc Raiders shows up tonight. Yeah, but didn't they turn it into an extraction shooter? Like, come on. Why do we got to turn everything into extraction shooters now? I thought it was going to be like a fun PvE game. What is Slitterhead? Gameplay trailer leaks online ahead of Summer Game Fest. Like, what is that game? What is even that? Let me take this moment to talk about the espresso trail mix at Costco. Tastiest thing I've ever eaten. It's like coffee and chocolate and nuts. Okay. We'll be playing New World on PlayStation. I'm actually really, really interested in that. Yeah, if you guys didn't see the leak, well, I don't know if it was a leak, it was like an accident, or maybe it was on purpose. Like, an advertisement for New World showed up on, was that on Xbox or PlayStation? Like, I saw the screenshot, but I didn't actually look at it. I was like scrolling, walking through my house, getting ready to leave this morning. I was like, what? I mean, I think that's awesome. I've always thought that New World would do well on console. It's more of the casual man's MMO. Yo, and a 5-bomb from Alex takes us to 45. This man keeps bumping the line to help out. Tag teaming it up with Stone Spire. Appreciate you. It's by the Silent Hill and the Siren creator? Really? New World's going to PlayStation? That game's still alive and kicking? And a 5-bomb from Tyler. Tag teams with Alex to take us to 50. There it is. You guys are killing it today. Thank you very much. Casual MMO, hardcore PvP. Herman the Vermin. Yeah. Herman the Vermin. It's the best game for fishing and chopping wood. I mean, New World's numbers on Steam are very bad right now. I've continued to say my theory is that New World is Amazon utilizing an existing MMO and an existing team's talent to do research for their Lord of the Rings MMO. And a 5-bomb from Kale. Good to see you, Kale. Now that is an Agent of Chaos pushing us past 50 and setting up another potential 20-bomb. 55 out of 75. Just leapfrogging. No, there was no upload today. I didn't do an upload for my PlayStation State of Play predictions because 12 hours later, the video's dead. Like, all the predictions I made this morning, once the event happens with Keighley, the video's dead. So it's like, I just do an opening monologue. It's easier. It's like, well, here's everything I think, let's discuss, instead of me recording a bunch of individual videos, and then I put them into a folder, and then Creature has to go grab B-roll and put it all together, render it, and then upload it. And it's like, we're going to do all that for a video that's dead 12 hours later. Generally speaking, you don't want to put high effort into an upload that you know is irrelevant 12 hours later. We put high effort into videos that we feel will have relevancy beyond the day that they go up. Does that make sense? Just making sure you didn't miss it. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm just explaining to you our philosophy. It's like, that's a lot of work. He's trying to get the coffee site back up and running. I'm incredibly busy. And it's like, when I take the time to put all that work and research and put everything together in an upload like that, you don't want to do that for something that 12 hours later, like, no one's clicking on because they're like, well, yeah, the event happened. We don't need to see your predictions. Predictions videos have like a super short shelf life. Now, you could do them like a week in advance, and then they get to eat, right? They get to eat for a week. We usually do our predictions day of because I'm a live streamer. It's just more in line with the brand to be like, hey, it's happening today. Here's what I think's happening. Aren't business supposed to change with current trends, then stay stagnant or stay locked on change marketplace? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mark Anthony. New World on console could be fun, but I have zero faith that Amazon will manage the servers for it properly. Is the Lego Horizon game also the Horizon live service game? Yeah, Brett, I don't know. It's launching day and date on PC. So, and it allegedly has co-op and crossplay. So maybe it's the MMO, maybe it's a multiplayer game. I don't know. And there's also, according to a reliable leaker, Bill Kun or Kuhn or whatever, Bill Kuhn, Kun. Bill saying that the game is going to have in-app purchases. Well, that sounds to me like a live service game. Like a multiplayer, like, I got to get a new microfiber. It's just doing the thing where it just smears the glasses. That could be a live service game. I'm switching to lighter frames. Those other ones, sometimes that's like they're like heavy. I'm convinced it's like Sackboy that has co-op and sells in-game skin purchases. Sumo Digital are working on an open world. I think they're doing it. It'd be really, really weird to put a Horizon game day and date on PlayStation and PC if it wasn't a live service game. Herman Holst just told the world, if we do day and date, it's for live service. Who's making the Lego Horizon game? I'm not sure. They say Embark and me on spending lots of money on a trailer in the Summer Game Fest. I have a feeling it may be related to the finals due to its updates, new game modes. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Fate Changer. Sorry, Nexon, not for me. What's Nexon working on? Weren't they what's the word? Weren't they just consulting on the MMO? Or helping build it or something like that? Like, they're not in charge of it. Until Dawn Remake is also day and date. Yeah, but that's a remake, though. I don't think that's not a tentpole AAA narrative-driven game. When Herman Hulse was talking about, like, the property that they own not going day and date, he wasn't talking about something that's like an Until Dawn remake. Like, that's not like some big first-party piece of property that drives console sales. That's not even their property, is it? Didn't they just help pay for it or something? I don't even know the details of that as far as, like, who even did the remake? Who paid for it? I don't even know. All I've done is watch the trailers. I mean, I think it looks good, but I don't think that's meant to be considered like a big piece of, PlayStation property. He's referring to the online shooter, The Finals. Oh, are they going to be involved? Could it be a Lego thing, like how Marvel dictates things? I said that in my show open, Shelly. I said it's possible that Lego said, listen, if we're going to do this, you know, we don't want this to be viewed as a PlayStation exclusive. We want it to land on PC as well. Like, I don't know. Herman literally used the word tentpole titles. Until Dawn isn't a narrative game. I know what you meant. I mean, it's narrative, but like it's not like one of their tentpole narrative-driven games like he talks about in The Thing. Until Dawn came out like 9 years ago? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like when we see some of these things hit, like there's this rumor that there's a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that lands day and date. Like, who cares? It's a remaster. I think Lego Horizon will be like a Lego multiplayer, thus the PlayStation and the PC launch. I saw Horizon's co-op game and the graphics were like Fortnite, not Lego, so it's a different game. Well, it's confusing because there's the Horizon multiplayer game, the Horizon MMO, and then there's like another Horizon single player game. I mean, obviously, I think they're going to resolve Aloy's story. Guys, do me a favor. We've been live for a little over an hour. Smash that like button. Let's set our sights on 300 likes. If you look at the like count right now, check it. See, make sure you've liked. Bump it to 300. That'll definitely help us. Strong turnout today. Already 55 members. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to quickly plug in my rig. I unplugged it last night because we were doing something with the PlayStations in the living room. The rumors say that Horizon Lego has co-op, which makes me wonder, who is Aloy playing with? 2 Aloys? Maybe one of the new characters? She'll be with her friend that she met in oh my gosh, in Burning Shores. They had like similar move sets and similar, like they looked similar in some regard, like the armor and stuff that they were wearing. It's probably her friend that she met in Burning Shores. I think NextCon was the game developers that were at the last Game Fest. They had some good games, if I remember correctly. I did, but I can't imagine they start with the second game. I'm starting to think it may be custom characters. Her special friend. Well, it's only her special friend if you choose that. There's the Karja friend too. Yeah. She's got a couple of people that you could choose from. I mean, it's a Lego game, so it probably doesn't really matter. You know, you could probably choose from a variety of people. Some of the Horizon games they have announced are just red herrings to cover the actual game. I think the Lego game is PC because of the Lego branding. I think the multiplayer Horizon game is going to be more Monhun. William says, when it comes day one to PC, if it's not live service, then it would be their third bracket, which is experimental. Remember, they had 3 types. Yeah, William, I think I saw your tweet about this. Yeah, I think I said that in my opener. I was like, it could be in one of the experimentals, or it could be live service. It could be one or the other. Do we know the runtime? For Keighley's event? I don't think so, no. Bring back Varl. Custom Lego characters would be so fun, though. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be. I think that's how you'd sell micros. You'd sell, armor pieces and different things to put on your character. What kind of monster wouldn't choose that? Who wants Lonely Aloy? I think the Lego game, if it's Sumo, will sell other PlayStation IP in Lego form. So, like, imagine a Lego Kratos in Horizon, but with a usable axe to destroy robo-dinosaurs with. They'd make bank. I mean, that sounds fun, but I don't know if they would do that. If it's called, Lego Horizon Adventures, I don't know if they would want to do that. Like, they're obviously doing the really fun Easter eggs in the Astrobot game. But I don't think every game you boot up like that now is going to have like Kratos walking in the frame and, letting you play as him or what have you. I don't think so. Are they working on another Ratchet and Clank? Well, I have no idea. All those Insomniac leaks, it surely didn't look like it. It looked like Insomniac was basically becoming a Marvel developer. It was like Venom, Spider-Man 2 Online, X-Men Online, Wolverine Online, Spider-Man 3. It was nothing but Marvel. And I mean, I'm not complaining, but I don't know. I didn't see any room for Ratchet and Clank, in that sea of Marvel. Is it supposed to be an MMO or just a sandbox? No, I have no idea. I would assume some kind of an open world adventure game you can play with other people, maybe build, because it's Lego. I don't remember hearing any rumors about Ratchet and Clank. I don't think there were any rumors from the Insomniac leaks. They said a Ratchet and Clank for 2029. Oh, wait, I think that's right. There was a Ratchet and Clank, but it was like super far out there. It was like 2 or 3 Marvel titles before you even get to the next Ratchet. It was pretty far out. So far out that it's like, there's no way to know. Yeah, JC's saying there was another Ratchet in there. Yeah. It was like all the way on the far end of the one calendar. There was like 3 different calendars. We don't know which ones were even accurate because things had moved around. Like, the whole Spider-Man 2 Online and then Wolverine and then like a year later getting Wolverine Online, I'm just like, is that happening or is that going forward or is that entire concept been just canceled? Because to me it seemed like, oh, they're going to bring an online component to those games and they're going to set the stage for Spider-Man 3 launching with online day 1 is what it seemed like they were doing. They were going to like essentially create a pattern of the games we make eventually get online of some sort, whether it's co-op or what. PlayStation AAA fans didn't buy a console for Lego games. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, it's you know why 60 million people bought a PlayStation, or are you saying the people that bought for AAA? I mean, there's 20 million people that bought a PlayStation 5 that didn't even have a PlayStation 4. We don't know what they bought for, and we don't know if they'll think Lego's to act like the generation playing video games right now and probably making up a large portion of the PlayStation 5 purchases, to act like those people don't like Lego is silly. I'm 42. I'm right there in the main group of people that buy a console like that. I'm in the main group of people that play video games. And I, like many of you here, love Lego and love playing Lego games. That's a weird thing to intimate or assert that like people don't, that the people that buy a PlayStation don't like Lego games. I mean, I'd be interested to see, let's see, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga PlayStation Store. How many people reviewed that game on the PlayStation Store? 9,000? Is that, I mean, I don't know. Is that good or low for a third-party game on PlayStation? I don't know. I feel like their main titles, what's something that would be like recent third-party over there? What, like, let's just see what Stellar Blade. How many? Stellar Blade's not third-party, but how many did Stellar Blade get? 42,000. So it seems like their mainstay titles do far better. So 9,000 on Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Lego Star Wars series has sold 50 million copies. Batman 12 million copies. Yeah, the Lego games sell really well. I don't know what the breakdown is on PlayStation, but they sell a junk ton of copies. I don't know. It would be weird for like PlayStation of all platforms to be like the platform that doesn't like Lego. Like, why? Well, I mean, Nintendo could make a bunch of those purchases. I mean, could make up a lot of those purchases, truth be told. That does seem to line up with their aesthetic and their audience, like Lego games in general. But like, I don't know. The people I know like Lego games. They also, you know, I play my Lego games on either the PlayStation or the Xbox. It ships on everything. Yeah, but we would need a breakdown then of where it's selling the most copies. You know what I'm saying? Is there even a way to do that? Lego game sales per platform? Like, does anybody have that breakdown? This just has the game sales. I just feel like the Lego games have always done very well. Like, I don't know why we would think that, like, for what reason does PlayStation as a platform not? Check my last if possible. Mark it down. Killer Instinct, either at the Summer Game Fest or Xbox Showcase, will be announced for PS5. No fighting games can survive exclusivity. Yeah, I think Killer Instinct has been rumored to be at the Xbox event. Lego probably has that breakdown. Yeah, didn't PlayStation and Lego partner together a long time ago? Didn't we report on that like 2 or 3 years ago? I mean, they have the numbers. I would think they'd have business impetus to do this. Lego games are fun for parents to play with their kids. You have to keep in mind, PSN ratings may not have been available at launch for that game. For the first 3 years, the PS5 rating system didn't exist. That is true, Shelley, because Lego Skywalker Saga, when did that come out? That released a while ago, didn't it? It might have been before they turned the ratings on. I can't remember when they made the ratings available on the console as well as viewable. Lego Skywalker Saga release date. It was 2 years ago when the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga came out. I thought they added the reviews, like, wasn't it last year sometime in the summer where they said, oh, hey, you can see and leave reviews on the PlayStation Store now? So, the Skywalker Saga, I mean, it's a great game, honestly. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's got so much content in it. It's really, really good. A new Killer Instinct won't happen. I thought there was a rumor or a leak that there was a team actively working on a Killer Instinct, though. I could be wrong. Maybe it was speculation that there was a team working on a Killer Instinct. I thought there was one being worked on. Indiana Jones, Power World next big update with Creatures of Ava and then and Rare with Sea of Thieves. I could see them doing the Xbox Showcase, having Power World be there. You also know how incredibly popular the Lego tall neck set is. Lego wouldn't be popular with the PlayStation audience. Makes no sense. Yeah, there's literally a Lego set of a PlayStation, from a PlayStation game. Yeah, the tall neck. I have it. It's right there. I don't know, man. I feel like Lego goes hand in hand with a lot of the age group and a lot of the demographic of people that play video games just naturally. They introduced PlayStation Store ratings for the PlayStation 5 in November of 2023. Oh. Well, then that's really good then, that the Skywalker Saga has almost 10,000 ratings. You know, it's because it's been in there since April of 22. It's an old Killer Instinct being ported. Oh, is that the rumor? Iron Galaxy wanted to go back to it, and Microsoft said no. Oh, yeah, I thought there was a rumor that there was a Killer Instinct being worked on. I must have had that backwards. I thought that there was something that they were building. What time does Summer Game Fest actually start? Okay, so it's 11 o'clock my time, and at 4:30 we will start our Summer Game Fest stream, so make sure you're subbed to the channel. That's basically in 5.5 hours. So wherever you are in the world, in 5.5 hours, we're going to get started, and that'll be like a 30-minute lead up to the showcase. Y'all are not going to get me back into Lego sets. I already have a gunplay, I think you meant to say gameplay addiction. My wallet can't have... What's Gunpla? Is that something? Or did you mean to put Gundam? Did you mean to put Gundam addiction? I played with Legos when I was a kid. You're going to sleep in that time? There you go. Maybe it'll be a survival style game for the Horizon Lego, kind of like the Fortnite Lego. Yeah, Fortnite Lego was an absolute blast, and then it turned into a slog, and me and my kids just lost interest. We're like, yeah, this isn't fun. No, he meant Gunpla? Oh, does Gunpla equal Gundam? Gunpla equals Gundams is a thing. Oh, I've never seen that term used before. Like, I'm familiar with Gundam, but I'm not familiar with the term Gunpla. Street Shadow with 3 months of membership says, I think the Lego not being popular with PlayStation might be because some might think Lego is only for kids, but that's misconstrued. Yeah, I don't think that you're going to have trouble selling a Lego game to the PlayStation audience. James Ray with a $5 super chat tip says, I'm 40, I love Lego games, I play all genres, the more variety the better. A game doesn't need to be a AAA first party to be good. Thank you so much. I don't think Paul was intimating it wouldn't be good. I think he was like thinking that like the big AAA PlayStation fans aren't going to want to play a Lego game. And he might have been thinking, if you're a huge fan of the big AAA PlayStation games and you love Horizon, are you then going to like a Horizon Lego game? I'm not every single gamer on PlayStation, but I really like PlayStation first party games. I really like Horizon, and I also love Lego games. So I'm obviously one person, but I do think that people in my age bracket are going to like both. I don't think, and we're a pretty significant portion of the gaming audience. Oh, it's doing custom Gundam models. Is it time for Lego games or for children? Did someone pick up the TV? I'm really hoping we get news on Devil May Cry anime, considering Netflix will appear at Summer Game Fest. They also are doing their gaming push. Netflix doing a pretty big gaming push, so that's probably why they're there. That'd be my first guess. PlayStation fans want to play Astro Bot. You know they want Horizon Lego. The only way a PlayStation fan would be upset is if Guerrilla Games were making it because it'd imply they were pulled away from the real game. Thankfully, there's zero chance that happens. Yeah, Sumo Digital's building it. Gunpla is the model kit for Gundam. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with certain pieces of fandom and certain things that are out there, you know, like Gundam and what's the other one with the robots? Something Evangelion. I can't remember it now. I used to be familiar with some of that stuff because I had friends that loved it. And it was like they'd always be freaking talking about it. They'd always be freaking talking about it. And I would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. They'd be talking about Dragon Ball when we'd be in like a party chat. And they'd be like arguing who was strongest and but when Frieza did this and when this guy did this, and I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. They'd be like yelling at each other, you know. We are a hair old for the anime wave that swept the country. I only had Robotech. Yeah. Look at videos of Armored Core. Why would I look at videos of Armored Core? What do you mean? You had it right. Evangelion. Is that how you pronounce it? Am I saying it correctly? I feel like a lot of those shows, it's like, no, you're not saying it right. Nikolash. Nikolash. Astrobot has a Bloodborne in the marketing, but no, they won't do a Bloodborne remaster or remake. They're just messing with you at this point. They're like, you guys want Bloodborne? Yeah? Well, you can put on a Bloodborne outfit in Astrobot. People are like, you mother... you son of a... I'm in. I'm going to play. I'm pretty sure Lono is the reason I gave Horizon a second chance and ended up falling in love with it, so thanks. Hey, no problem. Yeah. I ended up really, really liking Horizon off stream. Because when I was streaming it, I was like rushing through the game to try to finish it before Elden Ring released. And when I went back to the game and was just like farming for materials to level up my gear, and I was playing with my son, and then I played through Burning Shores just at my own pace. Oh, I loved it. Some games, it's like I just need to not play them on stream and just play them at my own pace. Love your content. I watch your videos at work. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Would Lono be Team Rare? Oh, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. We'll get a Lego Bloodborne before we get we get a Lego Bloodborne before we get a remake at this point. It's very possible. It's very, very possible that you'll get that before you actually get the dadgum game out. You know? People are very, very angry about that, by the way. I've seen some people really, really get ticked off. They're like, man, are we ever going to get this game? Or are y'all just baiting us? I'm like, I would say they're baiting you. I would say they're baiting you at this point. It's over 9,000. I mean, most of the time you hear about Bloodborne, I just think it's bait. I just think they're baiting you. It's like they're just messing with you. It'll probably happen eventually, but not anytime soon. Gamers? Angry? No way. I didn't like the beginning, and then I saw you doing like a climbing puzzle section, and it pulled me back in. Yeah, I don't really remember what the opening was like in Forbidden West. Bloodborne will return with the PS5 Pro or the PS6. Yeah, my theories around Bloodborne has always been that I think they were working on a remaster. And then I think they pumped the brakes because they saw what could be done with the remake. I think like what Bluepoint did with Demon Souls. I think the Bloodborne remaster got stopped. And then I think they started to plan to do a remake, and for whatever reason, that may have stopped as well. Maybe they want Miyazaki involved. Can you do a list of big games we'll see during the showcase? Well, which showcase? If you're talking about Geoff Keighley's event, I think guaranteed Death Stranding 2, Lego Horizon Adventures, Dragon Age Veilguard, the Batman VR game, and Elden Ring DLC will all... That's a guarantee that they're there. At least one of those is confirmed to be there, the Batman VR game. Now, likely appearances would be Assassin's Creed Shadows, Star Wars Outlaws, Indiana Jones, Black Ops 6, Plucky Squire, and Space Marine 2. And then my wild cards are Borderlands 4, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Spider-Man 2 DLC. Now, Hollow Knight Silksong is probably going to be at the Xbox event. I think they have a marketing contract. I also think it'd be amazing if Herman Hulst and Phil Spencer showed up to Keighley's event to put some support behind it. I also think we'll see Sean Murray and some more Light No Fire. Everything else, I don't know. It's a toss-up. You guys feel free to put the games in chat that you think are going to be there. All this Bloodborne talk, but last month PlayStation released a licensed Bloodborne clothing line and nobody reported on it. Wait. A Bloodborne clothing line? Why? Black Myth Wukong? Yeah, I can see Black Myth Wukong being there. 9th for the June Xbox Showcase. 10th of June WWDC event. I don't know what that is. Phil is about to be booed. I'll be honest with you. I don't think the gaming world at large is like angry at Phil Spencer. I think Twitter's angry at Phil Spencer. I think Xbox podcasts that, thought he was going to usher them into the promised land, I think they're angry at Phil Spencer. But I don't think the gaming world at large gives a rip about any of that. They're not paying any attention to that. I think it would also be incredibly unclassy to get invited to an event or be a part of an event like Summer Game Fest and boo, Phil Spencer because you don't like what they're doing with Xbox. Like, that would be freaking embarrassing. Like, that, just grow up. You know what I'm saying? Who's Phil Spencer? Are you kidding around? Are you messing around? I'm glad Phil's just remained silent. He's employing the right strategy. You just don't say anything. Any tweet he sent would have been just absolutely just blistered with scathing anger and hate. So, who is Phil Spencer? Yeah, why is Phil Spencer? He doubled down after that. I honestly think Phil Spencer's going to be a part of the Xbox showcase. I really do. I do. I think he's going to be a part of the showcase. I know they're passing the torch to Sarah Bond, but I don't think you just have Phil Spencer disappear. I think that would just be awkward. I think if you want to have a show of force, I think the Xbox showcase will be the biggest event of Summer Game Fest. It's going to be huge. And I said that before we were hearing like 30 games, 2.5 hours. I was saying that before we heard that. My video and upload was recorded 72 hours before that leak hit the airwaves. I was like, I think the Xbox showcase is going to be the biggest event of Summer Game Fest. And I think you've got to have a show of force. You can't have Phil Spencer absent. He's got to walk out. I'm telling you how you bring him back. You bring him back with a big announcement. You got to have a big game or a big something, and you let him walk out with it. I don't think Phil Spencer's the video game now. That's right. Phil Spencer, the video game. Mm-hmm. You have to see if you can get through an interview and say all the right things. Apple events, WWDC. Oh, yeah, I don't pay any attention to Apple events. Sorry. You think he's going to retire after the showcase? I don't think so. I don't think you go through an acquisition process like he did and not stay on board for a couple of years and reap the benefits. You might think that Xbox is going in a direction that's terrible and you don't like. I don't think Phil Spencer feels that way. I think he's going to be looking at those bonus checks saying, well, we're making a lot of money. Like, I think Phil Spencer's going to hang on for a couple of years, bro. He's gonna make a lot of money post acquisition. They've got some of the most profitable property in the gaming world. You know, a couple of annual Call of Duties hitting those revenue reports, and his bonus checks. This dude ain't walking, bro. He's been wrung out like a rag for the last. When did he come on? 10 years ago. He's gonna reap the benefits of his hard work, man. You say what you want about Phil Spencer. You can be like, well, he lied, or this or that and the third, and he failed. This dude kept Xbox in the ring. This guy's like the Rocky Balboa. I mean, he's just standing there like, I didn't hear no bell. It's like, no, we're still here. We're still going. Hardware sales down. You know, just failed first-party property, one after another. He's still standing. He's like, come on, we're going to turn this thing around. I don't think he walks, dude. No way. He's got at least 2 more years. Xbox is about to generate more revenue than they ever have historically, ever. And you think he's just going to walk away from that? I don't think so, Tim. He's not a man. He's like a piece of iron. I mean, you can say whatever you want. Like, Xbox is still around because of that dude. You know what I mean? He made bad choices and decisions and predictions. I think a lot of people thought that subscriptions were the future, and that, like, you know, the boom of Netflix was going to, you know, they were going to be on the front wave of gaming, you know, trying to do, you know, what Netflix did. How do you know? How do you know that that's going to all come to a screeching halt right when you need it to be at its strongest? There was no way to know that. My man catching the Rocky reference. That's right. That's right. Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren was so big in that, dude. Frickin' Sylvester Stallone picks him up in that fight. He picks him up. So good. Phil's 10-year apology tour. Is Phil Spencer the CEO of Xbox? Yeah, what's his official title now? He has like an official title. I forget what it is. Because they just restructured everybody. It says he's the CEO on Google. Sarah Bond's the president. Yeah, he's CEO of Microsoft Gaming. So he's not really even, he's higher than Xbox now. He's the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, and beneath him is Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, Dave McCarthy, Jarrett West, Amy Silverman, Bobby Kodak's gone, Jocelyn Main, Tim Stewart, Linda Norman, Carrie Perez, and Cynthia Purley. Homie, you don't get to the status that Phil Spencer is after putting in the time that he's put in. Brother, you don't get to that status and then walk away right afterwards. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. You don't look where he's sitting, bro. Look where he's sitting. There's no way you get to that level and you're like, yeah, I'm out. We had to make a couple of unfavorable decisions and, you know, gaming Twitter's really mad at me. I'm going to walk away. Yeah, I think he's drying his tears with $100 bills while he plays video games. I think he's doing just fine. Rocky 1's the best comparison. Rocky loses, but he gains Apollo's respect. Yeah, he goes the distance. He wanted to prove that he's not a bum. You know? His new title is Satya's Finger Puppet. I don't think he cares. I think when you're making that much money and you have that level of status at a company and you got somebody like Satya telling you what to do, I think you're like, yes, sir. When, sir? Now, sir? Okay, sir. Like, that's the posture, brother. When the checks are that big, get out of here. He does this for 2 to 5 years. His great-grandchildren won't need another dime. Like, the money that he'll be able to make, it's absurd what guys at this level make. The generational wealth he can create in just 2 to 5 years at the status he's now sitting at is just unbelievable. I can't see him walking away anytime soon. But Lono, all his friends are in gaming Twitter? I don't think so. I now have the Rocky 4 soundtrack going through my head. Hold on. I need to go lift weights real quick. That's right. Phil's net worth is already high, and I think it's about to be much higher. He's sitting above just an unbelievable amount of revenue. It's like what they're going to be able to generate is just absurd. Now again, they're going to keep trimming the fat. I think by this time next year there'll be more studios gone. There'll be more layoffs. 100%. 100%. Their operating cost is just too high. I can't see. They're going to have to bring it down. I mean, Sony operates at a fraction of what Xbox and Microsoft operate at. And Sony is dealing with operation costs because of how they amortize the purchase of Bungie. Dude, and Bungie was nothing in comparison. So, there'll be more studios closed. There'll be more there'll be more layoffs for sure. 42 years, had no idea he's been in the business for that long. I mean, I'm 42, so he's been in the business as long as I've been alive. Like, that's insane to me. But what's that make him? He's in his 60s then? So would he enter the workforce, in his 20s maybe? It's weird they seemingly don't have someone who is more competent than Phil. What would make you say that he's not competent, though? Like, I actually think most of Xbox's, issues and struggles and problems have nothing to do with Phil Spencer. It has to do with Microsoft. I don't think Phil Spencer's incompetent. I think he's quite competent. I think he's actually pretty smart. I think he's good at his job. I think Microsoft limits what he can do. I think Microsoft limits what their studios can do. Nobody ever wanted to hear me talk about this because they thought, you're just an Xbox hating pony. And it's like, no, I'm a huge Xbox fan and I'm watching them mistreat their studios and I'm watching them mistreat their property. Like, it was like covering Destiny for as long as I did. And I'd get really mad when they would make really stupid decisions because I cared. I was invested. It was like I cared. I was invested in Xbox. That's where all my games were. That's where my history as a console gamer was. And I'm watching them freaking destroy their own property. And then upon investigation from Jason Schreier, it's all Microsoft. Phil is incompetent. From 2013 to now, he did Xbox One gen dirty. Phil Spencer's 56. Okay. Yeah, he's got 4 or 5 more years left, and he's gonna ride off into the sunset. He'll be incredibly wealthy. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he wants to push it to the next hardware push, and then that'll be his swan song. He'll be out. He'll be like, I did it. I got us to the finish line. We are now much more profitable in the gaming space. Phil won't quit. He will be quietly sidelined and removed. He had one job to make Xbox number 1. And he has failed over multiple gens. Real fans care and critique. Zealots blindly follow. That's the truth. That's the truth. I mean, I've always handled it that way. It doesn't matter what it is. I've always been like, if I like your platform, your property, or your game, I'm going to be way more critical. Way more critical. You'll never see me get that critical about like Nintendo or games I don't play, because I just don't care. Oh, Mark Cerny's been in the industry for 42 years. I'm reading the interview that just came out from Chris String. Phil got Xbox from third place to third party. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty funny line. Oh my gosh. I don't think Xbox cares about being number 1 completely. They care about money. In my estimation, I think Xbox is now an extension of Microsoft, and I think once people come to grips with that, they'll understand what's happening. Xbox is not an entity unto itself. It is not an entity unto itself. It's not there to be in the gaming space as a gaming platform competing as a console. That's done. And the minute you come to grips with that, you'll start to fully grasp like what's actually happening. Xbox is just an arm of Microsoft attempting to stay relevant in spaces that are growing more and more endemic to daily life. And they want to be relevant in the cloud space and the mobile space. That's what they want. Like, they're not interested in being like, that's why a couple of years ago Phil was like, we're not competing with PlayStation, we're competing with Amazon and Google. Why would Xbox say that? Because that's not Xbox talking. That's Microsoft talking. Like, no platform, no gaming platform would be like, we don't really see the other gaming platforms as our competition. We see Amazon and Google as our competition. A gaming platform wouldn't say that. Microsoft would say that. Microsoft's like, they're our competition because they're going to be trying to edge into cloud and mobile and global interconnected ecosystems. Like, that's what they're going for. And we want to be there too because that's where the money is. If you look at what has happened with the globalization of the economy as well as the tech world and the tech sector, everything's connected. The fact that you can hang out with, play with, and text message and play video games with somebody in Germany and somebody in Africa or Korea, the fact that you can do that, it's like everything is now interconnected. And they're no longer thinking about, well, we need to sell games in this market or that market, or they're like, we just need to have a unified ecosystem that's basically everywhere. And if you want to play our games, it's accessible wherever you go. You have a cell phone, you have a tablet, you have a smart television, you have a PlayStation, you have a Nintendo, you have an Xbox, you have a PC, doesn't matter. We're there. We're there. Think about how they've treated Microsoft Windows. Think about how they've treated Microsoft Office 365, and their cloud-based solutions. You notice he went out of his way to not list the Netherlands? Think about how Microsoft has treated that, right? You get everybody to just be like, oh yeah, Windows is here. Microsoft Office is here. Azure Cloud Services, that's what we use for our cloud-based solutions. Like, Microsoft views Xbox as an extension of what they do. Xbox is not an entity unto itself. I don't know if it ever really has been. It certainly isn't now. And when you see that, that's when it's not like alarming to be like, of course they're considering putting Halo everywhere, because Halo no longer serves the same purpose. Halo doesn't exist to be like, buy an Xbox. Halo exists to serve the same entity, which is Microsoft. Put it everywhere. Look at what Minecraft is doing. Look at what Call of Duty is doing. Just put the games everywhere. We just want to be everywhere. We want the name Microsoft and Xbox to be everywhere. We are attached to wherever you go. No matter what you do, you're going to be interacting with them at some level. Like, that's the goal. You want to play Candy Crush? You want to play a game on your phone? You're going to be going to their storefront eventually to do that for all the property that they own under King. 110% says Zelator. If Sony disappeared, it would not affect Microsoft in the least. I mean, it wouldn't affect Microsoft in the least, but I think they would treat their gaming hardware endeavors a little bit different if PlayStation went into thin air. You'd like this. Mark Cerny reveals that gamers nowadays prefer 60 FPS. He's seeing gamers overwhelmingly prefer that this generation. Thank God! I've been waiting for this day. I've been waiting for so long for gamers to change their mind about that. I spent an entire generation arguing with people about that. Why do you play on PC, Lono, during the PlayStation 4, Xbox One era? Why do you play Destiny and Fortnite on PC? Well, it was always so painful. It doesn't look better. The human eye can't see more than... Say what again? Say that the human eye can't perceive more than 30 frames per second. I dare you. I double dare you, you mother... Like, say it again. Those freaking arguments. 30 versus 60. Oh my gosh. Oh, when we leave that behind, it'll be a glorious day. We can start to focus on other things. Instead of being like, well, 30 FPS is more cinematic. Shut up. Just shut up. Stop it. I 100% agree, says Street Shadow. I'm not an Xbox gamer, but I see Xbox as the X from high school. You lost after who she was, but that's not who she is now. That's oddly specific. That's oddly specific. Maybe a little too specific. Out Street Shadow out here self-reporting in his super chats. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, do that. I will be covering Summer Game Fest, okay? In 5 hours, I will have a second live stream that goes live on this channel to boot up and get ready for like a 30-minute pre-show for Summer Game Fest kickoff evening with Geoff Keighley, but we won't be done after that event. I will also be streaming with members. We'll be hanging out during Devolver Digital. I have to go back and play Lies of Pete today because you guys hit your member goal. Is that Watto? What is that? Oh, it's like a... Oh, yeah. Alright. It comes with 2 minions? Good job, bud. He's like, well, Papa said if I did good in my swim class, I could get something from Target. He knew. He's like, yeah, Papa's not buying me this $80 toy. When is the event? 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll go live at 4:30 Brooklyn. Street Shadow says, you got me. I got you. The human eye can't see more than 30 frames, and Zelda's still for kids. There you go. Let me see him, bud. Oh, that's awesome. The other guy. Little thing. And you keep doing good work in that swim class, buddy. I'm proud of you. That's good work. Summer Game Fest is today. Yeah, the kickoff event's today with Keighley. Yes, sir. Yep, I will be going live in 5 hours, and that's just 30 minutes before the show starts. And we got a big turnout right now. Wow. More and more of you tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, if you've never been here before, I do this Monday through Friday, what I'm doing right now. I'm a Safe for Work broadcaster. A lot of people throw me on in the background of their day, kind of like a gaming podcast. Monday through Friday, we typically start the day with an upload, and it's something that we put a lot of work and research into. It'll be like my opinion on a topic, and then that sends everybody over to a live stream where we discuss it and we go back and forth. That's what we're doing right now. We're just kind of discussing my predictions for the Summer Game Fest evening tonight, as well as I had a couple predictions for like what's going to be at Xbox that I kind of left out and forgot because I did one of those about Xbox earlier this week. So do me a favor. If you're enjoying the show, hit subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Start talking in chat. That'll increase the likelihood that you get a gifted membership. We're always running kind of a membership incentive and goal, and they hit the goal this week. So I have to go back into Lies of P tonight. They can always make me play a tough game and then a scary game. Each week there's a new incentive, so you guys can push that. Also, if this hits 200 members today, I have to play Lies of P non-inverted. We're going to have to set a timer on that, by the way, because eventually you're going to want me to actually like try to beat the boss, right? Not just get frustrated with non-inverted. Anyways, good to have your kids in swim. I had mine in swim since he was like 2. Yeah, my son's crushing it. He's doing really, really well. My daughter's all the way at the end. She's literally at the end. All she has to do is go down and do the flip and push off. And she's just having a tough time with it. She continues to try, but I was like, your brother's going to catch you. If she's not careful, he's going to catch her. You guys peep, we might get a remaster of The Thing. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit ago. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the show, don't just hit subscribe. Also, hit that like button. Everybody right now, take a second. There's almost 700 of you here. Double check that you've done a thumbs up. Make sure it saved it. Let's set our sights on 400 likes. Let's hit that milestone really quickly. No, I don't really play games like X Defiant. I'm not really a PvP guy. I burned myself out on PvP. I cut my teeth in Quake 2, then Quake 3, then Quake 3 Rocket Arena, then Call of Duty, then Unreal Tournament, and then 10 years of Call of Duty. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I've had my fill of PvP. I just prefer PvE games, co-op games. I just much prefer those. Nobody but Lono plays inverted. A ton of people my age play inverted. What are you talking about? What thing? Remake or a sequel? So I didn't want to do a show or an upload about this because, it just invites all of the look at this pony port begging. Yes, I'm port begging for a game that I don't really care about on a system that I own. Yep, you got me. Anyways, the Tom Warren put out a blog article, whatever you want to call it, and said that they are currently working on a remaster or remake of Halo CE, Halo Combat Evolved. And they are considering putting it on PlayStation 5. And everybody is now obviously weighing in on that. And I just observed that the pattern is extremely similar to when Phil Spencer sort of immediately responded to, our CFO just said we're going to start putting first-party games on platforms that we formerly considered competitors. And Phil Spencer immediately does an interview and is like, we have no plans to put Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo. He basically doesn't answer the question. The pressing question is, what are you doing with first-party? This feels very similar. Microsoft, in my opinion, Microsoft is the one pushing for this type of thing, and Xbox is either fighting against it, or as far as I can tell, Xbox is using their contacts in the press to play this down and to keep acting like it's not happening. We got another article from Windows Central basically saying they're only considering it, and as far as I know, games like Starfield and all these other games, there's no active development of these games coming to other platforms. And it's like, that's such a canned PR response. Instead of saying, no, we aren't doing that, it's being considered, and these games are not in active development for PlayStation 5. That's not an answer. Like, I cannot stress that enough. That's not an answer. If you come to me like, are you selling your house? And I say, I am not actively seeking buyers for my house. You wouldn't accept that. You'd be like, wait, what? So you might. Are you selling your house or not? Are you going to sell your house or not? I'm not actively looking for buyers. It's a dodge. It's like Neo in the Matrix, like dodging Agent Smith's bullets. Just like, skafoom, skafoom. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm not answering that question. It's so canned. It's so PR. It's like, this is damage control. You're trying to keep the public from seeing what's happening, what's coming. Of course there's no active development of some of those games being ported to PlayStation. They're doing other things right now. Like Starfield right now, all active development on Starfield seems to be focused on quality of life updates, patches, bug fixes to prepare the runway for the Shattered Space DLC. So of course they're not actively developing a port. It's such a dodge of an answer. And the fact that people lap it up. Do you remember when people were like, there's no way first-party games are going to be going over to PlayStation? And when that article came out, when Phil Spencer said, we have no plans to put Game Pass on PlayStation or Nintendo, do you remember the victory laps that people were running? They're like, told y'all, this ain't happening. And I'm like, did you read what he said? Did you actually analyze the answer that he gave? He just conveniently avoids the real question. Is that, are you going to be putting first-party games on competitor platforms? And everybody ran victory laps. They just lapped it up. They're like, thank you, Phil. Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Phil. How do you feel now? I couldn't resist. How do you feel now? Anyways, it just all feels exactly the same. To me, it's no different. It's like, yep, here we go. Here we go. Red hot off the presses from The Verge. Red hot. Halo Combat Evolved being remastered and considered for PlayStation 5. But. Like, oh, here we go. Yeah, uh-huh. That was bad. It was bad. Zubair says goodbye. I've had enough. That's it. That's it. Show's over. We're done. We're done. I'll see you guys later. I'm just kidding, y'all. We're gonna stream. We're gonna basically stream all the way up. Not this stream. We'll do it. We'll go to members. How do you feel now? Hashtag how do you feel now? Oh my gosh. Oh brother. Lono dreams of doing stand-up routine where the audience is clones of him and he's killing it. They love me. They love all of my jokes. How do you feel now? Put that on a shirt. Local streamer ruins life with a dad joke. I love those guys that do the dad jokes in the deer blind. I freaking love it. Oh my gosh. They're funny. Oh, they're funny. They can't. Their giggling is what sells it. It's like the way they can't even get through the joke sometimes. You're like, what do you call a pig who does karate? Like a pork chop. And they start giggling. It's perfect. It's like just wholesome injection right into your veins. Like it every time it puts a smile on my face. I love those guys. Halo remastered, maybe a chance to use new engine. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Because we know there's rumors about basically rebooting Halo or redoing Halo or taking Halo into a new engine. We know that they'd like to do that. Flintlock. Oh, I forgot about Flintlock. Flintlock is probably almost guaranteed to be at the Xbox Showcase. Isn't that coming this year? It actually looks really good, and it's a Game Pass game, is it not? It just says 2024. That's what it's slated for. Their latest gameplay trailer that they released looked really good. That's a multi-plat game, PS5, PC, and Xbox. But I'm fairly certain that's a Game Pass game, is it not? I feel like it is. Steam says Q3 is their planned release date. Oh, wait. Flintlock on Twitter is saying out this summer. Well, that wouldn't be a very good... That wouldn't be like an Xbox first-party shadow drop. Never mind. I thought that might be the shadow drop, but that's a third-party game. That wouldn't be an Xbox shadow drop. That's probably July or August, I would bet. So, yeah, they're probably going to be at the event, I would think. They're Game Pass, aren't they? I swear they're on Game Pass. Day and date. Flintlock Game Pass. Yeah. Flintlock Siege of Dawn's the open world RPG coming to Xbox and Game Pass. Yep. Yeah, this summer. Possible deadlock announcement because of Valve and the Keighley relationship. This is how old I am. I had to learn pinch harmonics by trial and error, admittedly a few days, but boy, it felt so good, and then it finally clicked. I don't even know what you're talking about. The Midnight Something game. You know what game I want to see, and I want to see a release date for? What's that one? It's a pixel art game, really, really high quality, looks really good. Replaced? Is that what it's called? Zinthos just put it in the Discord. I'm hoping we get a Replaced release date. Yes. Replaced looks so... Oh my gosh. It's such a good looking game. It's so cool looking. They showed that at the... Wasn't that at the Xbox Showcase? Was that 2022? And that was supposed to be one of the games coming out like in the next 12 months. And, you know, that we know that didn't happen with a lot of those games. Feel the agony. Feel the burn, baby. I love YouTube now. I wouldn't know what Jim Root was doing if it wasn't for YouTube. Huh? Replaced looks so good. Lono, just FYI, this channel minors in NFL and guitar stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I forgot about that. You guys commonly have conversations that I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to stay out of those. Yeah. I want to see that storybook game where you jump out of the page. That's the Plucky Squire, and that is Devolver, and it is coming this year. Devolver Digital is doing an event tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you are a member, you will be able to watch that with me. I will go live. This evening at 8 p.m. to hang out with members, and then after the Devolver thing, we'll do Liza P. And if you guys hit the stretch goal, I got to play Liza P. We'll say 30 minutes non-inverted. 30 minutes is fair, I think, because I'm going to probably play for about an hour, and we'll do half of that time non-inverted. So if you guys can make this goal hit 200 on the day, you already secured Liza P. I have to play no matter what. Thank you, Detective. Oh no, not thank you, Detective Seeds. Hang on, I'm getting a DM from him. Thank you. I'll circle back to that, Detective Seeds. Stay out of our convos, Lono. Mind your business. Yes, I'm sorry. Lono doesn't know who Jim Root is? No, I don't. I don't know who that is. Oh, I'd like to learn. Yeah, see, now you guys are all talking guitars and stuff. I can't say anything. Hey, talk to me. Talk to me. You guys are all talking to each other now. What the heck's going on here? What's going on here? What movie is that from? Replaced does look good. It does look good. It really does. Replace gameplay. 4K trailer. Wait, no. I hate doing that. No. Let me go to YouTube. I made the mistake of searching Google, and then you get these stupid, these absolutely stupid announced trailer from 2 years ago. You get these channels that are not even official, and they just re-upload the crap, and they're like 4K and everything else. Have you guys seen this? This game looks so good. Shut up, streamer. We're having a conversation. Become a donor today. Do. Look at that. It looks so good. What platform? Is this multi-plat or just PC Xbox? I can't remember. I know it's on Steam, and I know it's coming to Xbox. Fairly certain this is a Game Pass game as well. Like, they've done such an amazing job with the lighting and the depth. This is called Replaced. This showed up during the Xbox Showcase 2022, I believe. I think we had seen it prior to that, and it was supposed to come out within a year after that. I believe it's now slated for, according to Steam, third quarter this year. Is that what? No. That was Flintlock. This is slated for this year, I believe. The atmosphere is fabulous. It really is. Replaced. Yeah, see, 2023. They thought that thing was coming out in 2023. And it's not. I think it's slated for this year, though. Replace release date. The developer delayed it into 2024 because they can't afford to release a subpar game. That's what they said. Oh, they previously had to push it back because of what was happening in Ukraine. So they yeah. The replaced Steam page says just coming soon. Yeah. That could be another. I don't know if they would shadow drop that, but that could definitely be part of the Xbox Showcase for sure. We're hearing the Xbox Showcase is going to have like a ton of games, which I said that earlier this week. I said I think it's going to be the biggest event. They have so much property. Xbox is going to just barrage. Xbox's showcase is probably going to be one of those showcases where you get to the end and you can't even remember what they showed at the beginning. Like, that's how long it's going to be. That's how full it's going to be. Hopefully No Rest for the Wicked comes out soon. I feel like they're making good strides with early access. I feel like we've been seeing good reception and good response from people that are saying that they feel like they're making good decisions and good moves. I'm sorry. That's why, I mean, I'm fully in support of games doing that early access, whether it's Hades 2 or No Rest for the Wicked. I fully support studios doing that. I think it's great. Black Myth Wukong is set for what, August? So it's probably going to be at one of these events. Yes. Lono, when did you get here? I didn't even know you were invited. I mean, I walked in a little bit ago, just real short time ago, 2 hours and 11 minutes, You didn't like No Rest for the Wicked? It was too slow for you? I liked it. I was loving it. Ginger's doing a great job with his coverage. I actually I've not been able to watch any of his stuff, really. I don't have time for anybody's stuff. I watch as much as I can. I've watched some of Hilly's videos. He's been putting out his videos, the Xbox Rebate. And then I've watched some of Doc Dark's stuff, some of Porter Rock stuff, And I bet, you know, I'm so busy. You missed my joke. Where? How far up? Did you do a super chat or something? I'm not seeing anything. You were talking to Zuby, it looks like. I'm not going to read your chat log with Zuby. So Zubair, I loved Sinister Gates. I missed your joke. You mean I missed a sentence that I wouldn't understand when I read it? I don't even understand what you're talking about in that sentence. Why are you talking about games on a guitar NFL channel? When I first saw your question, Milosh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought you were saying, why are they talking about guitars, you know, an NFL on a gaming channel? But no, it was you were like, why are you talking about games, Lono? We're getting more and more ammunition in support of early access. So meant excellent devs are doing great things with it. Larian, Moon, Supergiant. I'm telling you, let's do it. Glad to see you, says Zubair. You always make parties better until you get drunk and make them weird. But the early part is just good stuff. Yeah. I have a bad habit of blocking exits and making jokes, Zubair. This is the reason I thought it would be funny. You wouldn't know what an arpeggio is. I don't. It's something in music. It's something where I don't know. Is it something to do with looping back? I can't. I know the term, but I don't know. It was like when you guys taught me what like a leitmotif or whatever it's called. It's a musical technique, a broken chord technique where the notes of a chord are played individually in a rising or descending order. It allows the listener to hear each note as they build into the chord's harmony. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Just say I'm a drummer and everyone will nod and say okay. Yeah. Even better, I used to be a drummer. Yeah. Well, since you guys have fully hijacked chat, I'm going to have to ask you to stop. It's not funny anymore. Could we get 22 more likes on the video? It really does. It hurts. You guys have genuinely hurt what we're doing here. You can't do that for as long as you've done because now AI thinks we're talking about the wrong thing and we've lost a ton of people. So you can't do that for very long. That's YouTube sees what's happening and they basically are like, well, this video is not on topic because AI analyzes the chat now, which is like unique, cool, but also like we can't do that for very long. What do you think about Spider-Man 2 DLC getting announced today? That was one of my wild cards. Yeah, that was one of my wild cards, was that Spider-Man 2 DLC will be announced tonight based off of the fact that they did Spider-Man huge gameplay trailer debut during the PlayStation Showcase last year, and then they gave the release date to Keighley. So I could see them doing something similar again where they just didn't even include Spidey in their state of play, and then they give him the DLC. Yo, Siege Master with the 5 bomb takes us to 60. Thank you so much for bumping the line. Appreciate you, dude. You guys have a bit of a stretch goal today. You secured Liza P for tonight. And if this hits 200, I got to play non-inverted for a while. Do we get a release window for the DLC? I think they would give us a release date. Yes, I do. I think they would give us a, because I think it's probably third or fourth quarter, I would think. I mean, I think it's this year. It'd be weird for it to not be this year, in my opinion. How come the AI never talk about this stream is about horses with all the pony talk? Doom Remaster August 1st. Yeah, I just don't know if there's going to be a big marketing spend on Tomb Raider Remastered. It's kind of expensive to show up at an event like this, so I don't know, maybe. Maximum Carnage DLC? No, yeah, the Spider-Man DLC won't be free. No. Okay, well, I'm going to remember the next time we get off topic and talk about games. Yeah, well, that was relevant. It was definitely tangentially relevant, and we were talking about games. Yeah, it will not be free. Toomba? Oh, I thought he was talking about Tomb Raider. Toomba. Yeah, that too, though. I don't think you're gonna see that at a main stage event. Maybe a smaller event. There are some smaller events like Future Game Show. Not Devolver, because I think they only talk about their own stuff. But maybe a smaller show, maybe. No, it goes on for 40 minutes, at least my opinion. I mean, if I'm honest, the Ubisoft stream was dead before it started, so it didn't really matter. When we got 650 people talking Summer Game Fest and 50 people are like, yo, I'm out. I don't know what's going on in chat. We got to pump the brakes and chill. 5 spot from Stonespire takes us to 65. Thank you so much, sir. We need Naughty Bear Remastered. The show is 2 hours. Keighley's show is 2 hours long. Is that confirmed? I know the Xbox show is supposed to be like 2 to 2.5 hours. Is Keighley's kickoff event 2 hours long? Stonespire wants a 10. He's setting up the 65 to 75 dunker. Nobody's done a dunker with him today. We'll see if he can get one here. Live from YouTube at a look what's next in video games. All right, let me go to the official YouTube video. Oh, no, yeah, you're right. A 2-hour live showcase featuring updates from the world's top game development studios. Yeah, you're right. Keighley's event is 2 hours long. The Summer Game Fest event is 5 p.m. Eastern today, so that's in 5 hours. I will be going live around 4.5 hours before that. In a little bit here, we're going to go hang out with members. I'll go a little bit long with you guys today since we've had a strong turnout and we're only at 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't like these videos going longer than 3 hours, so I can give you guys another half an hour. That's enough time to try to hit the stretch goal. That's also enough time let's get the likes to 400. We still haven't done that. We need 10 more likes there, and we can keep throwing out predictions of what we see tonight. Borderlands 4, that's one of my wild cards. Yeah, one of my wild cards is Borderlands 4. Beanie King with a $2 super chat says, what's Play Dead Limbo Inside been working on? Oh, I actually don't know. 10 p.m. UK. That sounds right to me, Hilly. Yeah, 10 p.m. BST. That's you guys, isn't it? I believe it is. Narwaffle with 24 months in a VIP. Can't believe it's been 2 years already. Thanks for 2 years of membership in a VIP, Narwaffle. I appreciate you, dude. You'll go ape if we get Borderlands 4. I don't know if you're going to go ape because it's all but confirmed that they're doing it. And it'll only be a teaser, homie. I promise you it'll only be a teaser. Yo, a 5-bomb from Alex. Thank you so much. Bumping us to 70. Remember when they did the teaser for Borderlands 3 and it was just like that like wub wub music? It was just like a boom, 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 and it was just this big white psycho head that they zoomed out on, and that was it. They just confirmed that Borderlands 3 was coming. It'll be something like that. It'll be something like that. Because they just pushed, just yesterday, a bunch of movie posters for the game. Did you guys see those? I actually hadn't watched the trailer yet for the Borderlands movie, so I watched it, and I was like, okay, this actually isn't that bad. I actually thought it was kind of good. Like, for Borderlands, like, they're definitely not being true to some of the characters. Like, I'm trying to think of some of the ones I saw. Like, I do not think that Tiny Tina doesn't seem to come off quite right. She's not crazy enough. She's more quirky. She's like quirky reckless, not like insane crazy reckless. You know, like, burn all the babies! Like, we're not getting that version of Tiny Tina. We're getting, like, I'm gonna blow up your body parts! Like, and who else did I think was a little off? I'm not quite sure how they're portraying Tannis. Like, I like Jamie Lee Curtis, but at one point she's got like a pretty revealing outfit on, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like something Tannis would do. Like, I don't care, it's Jamie Lee Curtis, but I was just like, you know, like, I like Jamie Lee Curtis, and she seems to be playing kind of like goofy, crazy Tannis, but yeah. Lono went full Bobcat. I liked a lot of the voice work in Borderlands 2, you know? You had Salvador's like, oh yeah! Like, he did his gunzerking. Like, he was awesome. And then you had Tiny Tina, like, with all of her different expressions, you know? And then they ruined Roland in Borderlands 2. He sounds terrible. Vault Hunter. Like, what happened? In the first game, he's like, you know, it's like Christmas. We got guns over here, you know. Critical biat. And then in the second game, he's like, Vault Hunter, help me get out of here. I'm really serious now. It's like, what the frick happened to you? It's like they changed him. Kevin Hart's a weird choice. I honestly don't even care, because Roland's not a consistent character. They made him super flat in Borderlands 2. In Borderlands 1, he's got like swagger, and like he's kind of cocky, and then he's all like straight-laced serious in Borderlands 2. I just don't like it. All the voice acting in Borderlands 2, I think, is excellent. You got Handsome Jack. You've got Claptrap is always good. You've got Tiny Tina. You have all the characters. You have Maya. You have Salvador. You have Axton. You have Krieg. All of the voice acting was so good in Borderlands 2, but then Roland is like, what the frick? What happened? It was really, really awkward. It was like a different person. So I don't very much care that, you know, they've made Roland, number one, they've made him short. Kevin Hart's not tall, so they've made him short. Roland's tall in the games. And instead of being like cocky, swagger, or serious, he's like, no, now he's just more in the middle, like goofy. Everybody else in the trailer, I thought, came across. I like Jack Black as Claptrap. I think it works. Roland was the most serious character in the game, and he's played by Kevin Hart. Maybe that's the irony. But he's not serious in Borderlands 1. He's not. You know, he's talking about, like, we got guns over here. It's like Christmas. You know, wasting daylight, fool. Like, you'd be, like, standing around for too long, and he would say that. It was, I don't know. You have an opinion on using AI to replicate voice actors who have died? I mean, modifying a new performance to sound like the original? Only if they're okay with it. If they were able to sign something, you know, and if somebody is compensated, if there's a trust that's compensated or a family member that's compensated, you know, like if a voice actor that I really liked passed away, I don't want to say anybody because I don't want to put bad juju on anybody. If a voice actor that I really liked passed away and they signed a contract saying, hey, you can use my voice in the next game so the character can live on, I'm okay with that. But that the contract stipulated that the money would go into a trust for family members or something, then I'd be okay with that. If that person has never been able to consent to that, then I'm not okay with their voice being used. You know, as much as we all love and miss Lance Reddick, I think that would have been very disrespectful to like AI his voice into Silence in the next, you know, Horizon game or Zavala in Destiny. I think that would have been very, very disrespectful. You know, if Lance Reddick knew what was coming and was able to come to a deal so that his consent is honored, as well as that somebody needs to be compensated, then I would be okay with it. It needs to be handled in a very respectful, as well as it needs to be handled in a way that someone is then compensated. You know, somebody like that could even say, I want all the money to go to this charity. I want you to write a check to this charity that I care about. You're not paying me. Write a check to these guys, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I think Keith David is fine. I think that Zubair was just asking, like, would there be instances where it would be okay? Yeah, I met Lance Riddick in Lost. That was the first time I met him, You've got a lot of work to do, Mr. Locke. Like, that was my first time I met him. And look at you, an orderly. Oh, I'm far more than an orderly. He's so good in that. One thing's for sure, Lono, is that if there's a Borderlands 4 reveal trailer, it's going to be either the Borderlands symbol or they show a bandit mask or something. You might just have Claptrap walk out and say something, It could be as minimal as that. Yeah. Lance and Grillen on good terms, no issue. Yeah, but I mean, again, I think he has to have... I think it would have had to have been him giving permission prior. I don't even think a family member can grant that. I don't think so. No. If a person has died and did not grant the right of their voice or likeness to be used, then you can't do it. No, you can't do it. I don't even care if it's like somebody's spouse. Like if somebody's spouse is like, oh, this is what they would have wanted. Oh, I think that gets into like really weird territory. It's like, yeah, maybe, or maybe you just want the money. What if we ask a woman? Borderlands live service or Borderlands 4? Yeah, I don't know, Paul. There is, to me, I think there's something to be said for Borderlands 3 didn't go over very well. So your market research might say that calling it Borderlands 4 is a bad idea. You know what I mean? If there's some stink on the name Borderlands 3, which then kind of carries over into Borderlands 4, voices cannot be copyrighted. You bet they can. That's that person's voice, which is basically tantamount to their likeness. You have a right to protect your likeness being used. I'm a public person. That doesn't mean you can put my likeness into a video game and make money off of it. I have a right to protect the use of my likeness as well as my voice. You better believe you can protect the use of your voice and your face. Even if you're a public person, it doesn't matter. I think they debut Mafia 4. Maybe. Back to the Borderlands thing. I could see them launching a Borderlands game that's not called Borderlands 4, and it's got almost like a name like Borderlands Universe. Sounds terrible, but something like that. You know what I mean? Something in that vein. Scarlett Johansson already made those AI people drop her voice. Yep. There are going to be entire legal teams and legal departments that utilize technology to say, hey, this voice signature matches my client's voice signature by like 90% or something. There's going to be legal ramifications going forward that if it sounds like ScarJo, that it needs to not match her voice's signature by like a certain percentage. It's like, well, it kind of sounds like her, but if you did like a comparison, if theirs is like different by a large enough percentage, then it would be okay. Somebody's going to have to develop technology to do that. If it doesn't already exist, it probably already exists. What if they shadow drop this Sunday? Is the COD franchise going on Game Pass? How do you shadow drop that? They already said they're doing that with Black Ops 6. Or do you mean like all of the past Call of Duties? I think the shadow drop is either something like Towerborn or the Gears collection. I don't know if it would be like we put all of Call of Duty on Game Pass. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that might tie in really well with, and be sure to stick around for the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 showcase after this. They can check your voice print. Yeah. I just think there's going to be legislation that has to be passed to say if you're going to use AI to make a voice, it cannot match this percentage of a person's voice print without their permission and without them being compensated. Say goodbye to the million David Attenborough AI videos and voice clips. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's a reckoning coming for the people that are doing that. Because if somebody that owns is David Attenborough still alive? He's still alive. He's 98 years old. He could very easily detonate entire YouTube channels. He could. 100%. He could get that as a signature likeness measurement and say, hey, my voice is being used in all these videos, and now I'm not okay with that. You know, if he dies, he could have a trust, and they could take legal action, and they could be like, we're not cool with this. And that could be very, very damaging to a lot of channels and people that have been doing it. The timelines passed, there was no way he could have predicted ahead of time that AI voice thing would have happened. At least not at the speed that it did. They can probably use AI from their own game. They don't have to steal audio samples from other sources to imitate his voice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Lance Riddick's face is in Horizon. It's in Horizon as the character Silence. He agreed to that. There was mocap. There was a contract signed for use of his likeness. And use of his likeness is limited. Horizon can't just keep using his likeness for forever. Well, you were in the previous games. So Destiny can't be like, well, we have his voice, so we can just keep using it. No. No, you can't do that. You don't have a right to his likeness or his voice just because you used it in the past. AI Tick has already hit the pillars of IP, copyright, patent, and trademark. There are already massive lawsuits cooking from big names like GRRM about Gen AI. I feel asking his estate and then agreeing to do it would be enough for me. If he died and he turned over the rights of the use of his likeness and voice to people that he trusted, and then they decide that it's okay, I'm okay with that. Like, if as he was dying or preparing, you know, who knows, I don't know if he knew he was going to pass away when he did, but if he had his affairs in order and he has this estate or trust and he trusts them and says, listen, my likeness and voice can be used at your decision. You have it's not power of attorney, but it's like that, right? Like, you can dictate it. If he trusts them, that's good enough for me. If they work something out with Gorilla or whoever. I don't know if he did that though. Voice actors and people that do that line of work, they're going to have to get those type of things in place to either protect the use of their voice and likeness, you know, in perpetuity after their death, or to, you know, to protect it so it never happens, or to set conditions when it could, and you just trust the people that, you know, are in charge to handle that. Google says that voices cannot be copyrighted, but a recording of a voice can, whatever that means. I believe at this point it's legally considered your likeness, which means you have a right to protect it, and they have no right to use it without your permission, right? Like, if you take my videos and react to them or whatever, that falls under things that are allowed, right? You know, fair use, and you got to repurpose and all that, and a lot of that's gray, right? If somebody was taking my content and just re-uploading it, that's not the same, right? Like, the nonsense that happens on Twitter is not covered by fair use because you're simply just re-uploading my content. That's content theft. That isn't worth fighting because it's too minimal. But if someone were to take a bunch of my videos and then funnel it through an AI and then make content with my voice and my face, I have a right to put a stop to that. It's like, no, that's not the same. Now you're creating something new. And that's not the same. It's like taking someone's likeness and doing deep fakes of like adult content. They have a right to put a stop to that and to protect their likeness from being used. Same as their voice. So there are large steps you'd have to go through to do that, but I mean, even YouTube now, you have to check a box. You have to check a box if you upload a video that is utilizing AI. Like if I put together a video and it was a total fake trailer made by AI, I'd have to check a box whenever I upload the video that, yeah, this video contains altered stuff. So if somebody uploaded a video using my likeness and voice to make it look like I'm saying things that I'm not, they have to check that box. And then I could probably file a complaint and say, I'm not okay with this. This is a breach of me, my likeness here. I don't know what YouTube's policy is on that. I don't know if they would make me, oh no, you have to go the legal route. You have to get a lawyer involved. Like, I don't know. You have a right to control use of your likeness in a commercial setting. Right, which a YouTube video is a commercial setting, right? The ad revenue, you're making money off of that. You're making money off of my likeness. Same thing's happening on Twitter Blue, right? There are people that are, just raw uploading clips from content, and that's not, that you don't have permission to do that, and then you're making money off of it. And it's not been altered in any way. It's just a re-upload. That's content theft. Yeah, they own his previous performances, but we're talking about a brand new performance. Like going forward, if you told an entirely new story in Horizon, for example, and you put silence in it, and you have him talking and moving around and doing all this different stuff, that's brand new. That's not the same. There wouldn't have been a contract for that. Oh, I mean, there could have been. Maybe he did record lines and stuff. I don't know. What if they don't check the box? Then they would get in trouble for not properly labeling their video, and then they'd get it. They potentially would be facing a strike on their channel if they did that. Yo, Haseo upgrade the membership to VIP. Thank you so much for doing that. Let me see. We're gonna go for 10 more minutes. I'm gonna schedule writer's room. We're gonna go for 10 more minutes. If you guys want to go for that stretch goal, you're gonna have to hustle. I said if we hit 200 members today, I would play Lies of P tonight for, I said, like 30 minutes or so, uninverted. That was a good idea that somebody came up with. You guys have secured the goal either way. So if you hit 75, I'll owe you 15 members. So you guys can scramble and do that. I'm going to go ahead and get this scheduled. We're going to schedule writer's room for 12:30. We are literally just going to hang out with members for 4 hours. We're just going to hang out. I'm going to have my lunch. I might get Liza P reinstalled and try and brush up so that I'm not 100% rusty tonight. And you guys can hang out with me while I'm doing that, as long as you're a member. A final bum rush of members is always fun. We get to bring a bunch of people with us. If not, that's okay. We've had an amazing week. We've hit a ton of goals and a ton of great milestones. A lot of new people getting to enjoy the extra content, the members content. There will be a member stream tonight as well after Summer Game Fest. Oh wait, I just did the wrong thing. I don't need that to loop back to that. I went to the wrong video. There we go. I need this video to redirect. You never beat Liza P either? What time is Summer Game Fest? We are going to go live in 4 hours. So at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And then 30 minutes later is when it starts. So it basically starts in 4.5 hours. Wherever you are in the world, 4.5 hours from now. Approximately. Rise your favorite game of the moment. Don't they have a replacement actor for him the next Horizon game? I don't know. They got Keith. They got what, Keith David's his name? They got him for to be Zavala in Destiny. I thought he had recorded a lot of stuff for Horizon already, And I think they could use that to then like write him out of the third game. It would be very easy from a lore perspective and a storytelling perspective within Horizon that you have him leave some recordings behind for Aloy, and he ends up dying. Something happens, and she has to figure it out, and he leaves behind some recordings to kind of like tell her what to do. Like, that'd be very, very easy to do. Like, I don't necessarily know if you want to just suddenly be like, yep, anything Lance Reddick was doing, just get Keith David. I don't know if you want to do that. But, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. He's got a magnificent voice. But. What is this? I don't know what that is. Something from UB. Nice strong day too. A lot of new subscribers, man. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. Hitting another milestone today. Appreciate it so much. And Silence decided to just F off. Yeah, he's like, I'm out. Lies is the best Souls-like, in my opinion. I mean, I saw more commentary on Twitter that the critics got that one wrong. I was looking at its score on Steam is like a 92%. It has a very similar score on PlayStation, like a 90-something. You can't really look at the score on Xbox because they put it on Game Pass. So, like, a lot of people played it for 5 minutes and just gave it a bad score. And that's fine. Like, that's a benefit of Game Pass is you can try out a game you ordinarily wouldn't try, but it pulls the score down. So you don't get the greatest sampling over there. But if you look at Steam and look at PlayStation, the game scored incredibly well. And then you go to the critics and like it did okay, but I mean like an 80, and it's got like a 90 plus everywhere else. Everybody that was critical of it too, I researched it. Like they were all like, "Oh, it's too similar to these FromSoft games." Like, what a terrible way to criticize a game. Is there any YouTube channel where they have every event live scheduled? I don't think so, Drexen, no. Some of the events you have to go specifically to them, but there are usually people co-streaming it. Like most of the major outlets co-stream every major event. So it shouldn't be that hard when it comes time to watch an event. Like if you search it, you'll find somebody co-streaming it. You'd say Liza P and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Besides now, I really want to see where Liza P... Oh, you want to see a part 2? All right, guys. In 6 minutes, we are going to go to Writer's Room. It's basically going to be a Summer Game Fest. Yeah, I should probably just do that. I should probably just do that. Let's see if we can just... We'll just make it a waiting room. Summer Game Fest 2024. Let me get a thumbnail here. Why are there so many videos from like in the search funnel? Can I just get like a normal thumbnail? What in the world? I just want to throw it on there and just be like, "Yep, here's our waiting room." Nobody has a good thumbnail. It's just like the logo. Let me just go to Summer Game Fest 2024. Hey, Therapy Quantified rounds us out at 75. Looks like the stretch goal's not well, you guys could probably hit the stretch goal when we're watching the event. So you still have time. You still have time. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Yeah, this is a good image. This will work. No, save image. JPEG. All right, let me go in here and change the thumbnail and the title to this member stream that we're going to go to in just a second here. Come on, YouTube. Let's see here. Summer Game Fest waiting room. So I owe you guys 15 members. I'll do that in just a second. You guys still have 4 minutes to scramble if you're going to scramble. This will be the Summer Game Fest waiting room. Let's change that thumbnail to that. Save that. Yeah, I wouldn't want them to change his appearance or his voice. I think it'd be better to just, like, you know, minimal use of his voice to, like, basically give him an exit, and then that'd be the end of it. Like, if they're like, hey, we used AI to give him, like, 3 or 4 lines so that we could have his character exit the game. Like, I think that would be fine. Oh, okay. A single gifted from Danny. He does Agent of Chaos right at the end. There's always one. There's always one. You guys have 3 minutes. You guys have 3 minutes. Okay, there we go. No reason to change his appearance unless there's a mocap issue. Yeah, you could use his model and have a little recording pop up. If it's very minimal and it's literally done to, like, give his character an exit, I think that's fine and I think that's tasteful. Having him in the entire game and using AI to make his voice and do all that, no. You need someone's permission if you're going to do that. That's not the same. The intention of one is completely different than the intention of the other. All right, guys, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and we're going to head to the members-only Summer Game Fest waiting room. Boom, boom, ba, ba, boom. And I'm going to drop 15 members that I owe you guys unless we hit 100 in the next 120 seconds. And then I'll have to drop a 20 bomb. So if you guys scramble, now's the time. If not, I'm dropping 15 and then we're going to go. I'll drop a link in chat. We'll go to our Summer Game Fest waiting room. Got to get your membership back. You got to get it. A 5 from Ristic. He says, "Come on, boys." Takes us to 81. Ristic with the attempting the buzzer beater. What time is the showcase? It's in 4.5 hours. It's in 4.5 hours. And a single from Ant. Single gifted from Ant says, "Come on, boys. Let's push it. Let's single gift it up." I always forget who I get my emails from about that. Voice cannot be copyrighted. Listen, man, people are already working on putting a stop to it, so I appreciate your efforts to quickly Google research it, but oh, freaking, who is the one that... Always delete their emails. Supreme Court ruled on that. That's it. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not specific like copyright protection, right? But there is some level of protection for your voice. Yo, No Chance gifts a member and takes us. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. 83 members on the day. What is it here? And a 5-bomb from Ant and takes us to 88. I'm letting you guys do it. I'm letting you guys extend. I am. And a single from Lone Wolf and a single from Lone Chance. There it is, taking us to 90. Somebody's asking for a 10-bomb dunker to 100. And then I'll drop a 20-bomb and we'll get the heck out of here. Oh, how do I do this? I can't give. No, you're good. You're good, Darius. You're good. I'm just like extremely preoccupied with something. I was hoping we'd be in members by now, but I want to give you guys a second to do it. And a 10-bomb from Rizik. Rizik does it. All right, I'm going to do a 20-bomb right on top of that. We'll round out at 100. We'll get out of here. Doom, doom, da, doom, doom. All right, here comes the 20 bomb that I owe you guys. And YouTube being slow. Yeah, Rizik just bringing it. There it is. All right, let me give you guys a link. All right, here's where we're headed. I'll put a link in the Discord as well. Thanks so much for being a member, and you may be a brand new member. We just had a crazy day, 100 brand new members gifted. I gifted another 20 at the end. If this turns into 200 by the end of the day, my Liza P gameplay is going to have to be a little bit harder. I'm going to play non-inverted for at least 30 minutes. So we appreciate you guys so much and all that you do for the channel and all that you do for me. So we are going to be waiting here for Summer Game Fest. So if you're watching this later, you probably need to skip ahead to the discussions that we're having or any of the other things that we're doing. And I'm going to end the previous stream where we did my predictions about everything with Summer Game Fest. I'll make sure and change